Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kaiserklein versus LordRaphael. And I think both the players, they've had a good night last night. It is Sunday after all. Remember, yesterday was Saturday, and they're people too. I'm sure they were having a good time, and that, by the sounds of it, is the case. Kaiserklein and LordRaphael, especially Kaiserklein, a bit tired, I think. Maybe had a couple to drink, and we'll see what happens, but it should still be an exceptional series because, as I was saying to Taben and indeed the Twitch stream just before this started, Taben I will be casting with. I'm very pleased to have you alongside. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, it should be good. Let me use this opportunity to fix my scroll speed. All good. LordRaphael and Kaiserklein are the number 1 and 2 seed for the New World Championship. As I said, today may not be their best examples, but I'm sure it will be an exceptional series nonetheless. But yeah, both players very, very strong and both very, very highly rated in the seeding. I had the top 16 players from the tournament seed both of these players, as was the plan. And LordRaphael, he came out with an average seed of 1.3, and Kaiser came out with an average seed of 1.7, and then the rest of the players were all very, very close to each other within 0.5, but not nearly as close. These two broke away from the pack, so to speak, so we could well be seeing today an early version of the Grand Finals, although I think for the Grand Finals they'll be a bit more prepared from the night before, perhaps. But it will be on a Sunday, actually. Both today is Sunday, and the Grand Finals will be on a Sunday. Anyway, what I'm saying is today will be an exceptional match, and I'm really pleased we're able to get both of these players together, and I'm casting alongside Tabin. It's going to be a joy. I've heard you cast before, but not with you, so let's see how this goes. And immediately, a lot of early Explorer conflict. LordRaphael playing the Dutch, and is killing the monkey there. His envoy's turned up, and looks like he's going to try and try and kill off the scouts. It does get away, though. Kaiser's not going to let it die.
It's a big brawl in the middle, and we see all the scouts present, and it looks like Kaiser is actually coming out ahead. He has taken barely any damage from his Explorer.
Yeah, he's doing all right. So rest assured, he is still going to be playing just fine, as we can see here. Yeah, he's gotten a lot of damage on here.
Yeah.
Although he's saying
that's a bit surprising to me because the envoy is actually a little bit beefier he's a bit stronger than the native scout.
Yeah.
So I feel like LordRaphael maybe could have made taking that much damage.
Yeah, although he did have to kill off a monkey, so maybe that's what's something to do with it.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, definitely.
But so far, Age 1, in terms of treasures, we see not really a lot going on. Kaiser does get the macaque, but obviously it's dead now. And 30 coin, very, very low stakes in terms of treasures. 40 wood, very small there coming up. No one's gotten for anything big, but LordRaphael currently just scouting with his envoy, the sheep and the envoy very close together, just trying to cover as much ground as he can, searching for sheep. But there aren't any to be found in this location, so he's only got the 2, and I think it'll stay that way. Whereas Kaiserklein here, he's managed to find a couple, and they're going to get home safely, and in total has 3. But really quite an even Age 1. Not a lot to say here. The only interesting thing I think worth talking about, and we said this as well, the players today, we're not going to see them bringing out the big guns, any secret strats they might be preparing. And we can see that already. LordRaphael opening with Dutch, which is not a civ that you'd see usually on this map in a tournament, but is still a perfectly fine civ to play on Kamchatka, just something that you would usually save for those non-trading post maps. But LordRaphael going to go with Dutch, Kaiser with French.
It's a reasonable matchup for the first game, especially on this map. I think they both would agree it's French favored on a map where France can more easily take like three TPs.
Yeah.
While it's maybe Dutch favored on a map without TPs, but on this map with like 2 TPs that you can take, but the third one you can't, it's probably a fair matchup.
All right. I love how intricately balanced the game is around trading posts.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, but that is the case today. I mean, you can build the third and final socket, but it is so close to your opponent's town center. Or maybe it is in range of the radius. I think it's just outside. I think you can build it, but the point is it's usually something you won't be able to just because your opponent has control in that location. But Kaiser immediately...
I think we're not very likely to see Kaiser go for Stagecoach because like one trading post advantage, so it's not very likely, I think.
Yeah, if you get Stagecoach and your opponent grabs one, it just doesn't feel very good, especially when you've only got two. That's right. But Kaiser, he has gotten his first trading post down during transition here, and looks like he went with the market in Age 1. As we can see, hunting dogs already in, place of mines there as well, and very quickly approaching that wood needed for steel traps, which he's about to get. Is now up to the Colonial Age, and we can see that he has gone up with, we'll wait just a second, I'm sure it'll be 400 wood though, yes, there it is. We'll see what he does with his wood in a moment, but LordRaphael, Dutch, as we know, usually get up a little bit quicker than their opponents do, and has started with the bank, and he's going to use his 400 wood there just to slam down a bank immediately, so not going to see a military building come out of his initial wood, instead just going to go with the bank. We'll see what his first shipment is. Kaiser, though, he is beginning the game here with, by the looks of it, a forward stable coming up. Not super far forward, but certainly going to give him a bit of extra, or perhaps less time to get to his opponent's base.
And it's also a good thing because you can see LordRaphael has his envoy in Kaiserklein's base and looking for some sort of military building to see if Kaiser is going aggressive or if he's going for a fast fortress. But since the stable is out of line of sight,
it's going to throw him off.
LordRaphael will have less time to adapt.
Yeah, he's not going to know where that is, perhaps. And I wonder what he'll do with his 700 wood. Perhaps if he saw no military building, he'd think, oh, I'll build 2 banks out of the wood. But no, that would be very risky. There probably is a military building. He hasn't seen it just yet. But he's going to build 1 bank from the 700 wood, and the rest of it was used there to get a stable down in a market. So he's now getting hunting dogs, so looks like he is going to build a stable in response. Both players will have cavalry. Let's switch on over to units in queue. And a bank wagon now just arriving. But looks like Kaiser's first batch of cav now has come out, Tab, and they're approaching the base quickly.
Yeah, but we see Raphael has built his base very solid. So it won't be very easy for Kaiser to... Oh, he could get in between the trees.
Oh, yeah, he's gotten in. Attack moved on to the Vills, but LordRaphael very quick to garrison them.
Yeah, but there is a villager out of base, or out of safety.
Yeah, but he's moved it away. Oh, no, it hits... Yeah, he knows it's there. LordRaphael didn't lose that, and very nice.
He's on point.
He is on point. Very good. And now we see some hussars have been trained for LordRaphael as well. They've just come out of the stable, and that'll be really useful for defending. Obviously, more cav being trained from Kaiser. He's a batch ahead because his stable went up much sooner, but LordRaphael's still okay to take this fight since he can pop Minutemen at the same time. There will not be a pikeman shipment because of the wood that's just arrived, but Minutemen is going to come out, and I think LordRaphael quite keen to take this fight. He wants to neutralize the cav or best he can, but... You know, not a great trade, losing a lot of his own cap, but with the TC Fire and the Minutemen, maybe it's okay. I think just trying to get rid of some of Kaiserklein's cap so he can safely gather. But I think
there was
overall...
There was a super low villager on 6 HP, and I saw Kaiser was trying to snipe it with one of his hussars, but it just lived. And I think even with his Explorer now, he was trying to pick it off.
Double barracks coming down.
Right.
It was actually a very even fight. Both players lost 4 hussars each. But I suppose LordRaphael was forced into shipping Minutemen. But overall, I think he expected that he would be doing that. It seems very fine. But lots of cav. I think that's a 3rd batch now from Kaiserklein. And he's also gotten up 2 forward barracks here. But this fight is not one that LordRaphael will be super keen to take now that Minutemen have been called and they're all very low HP. But actually the base providing it, you know, making it very awkward to get in there. And it looks like Kaiser having to back out at the last moment. Does get a couple of swings on that hussar. And now is going to finally go in, but not before losing... You know, yeah, look at all this time. The base is really well built, and it's causing a lot of issues for Kaiser. Yeah, not pleased by the looks of it.
The Minutemen are in such a good position to deal damage to the hussars, despite being 1 HP.
Yeah, and now if we look at units lost...
He still got all of the Minutemen alive.
Yeah, that's really nice.
He doesn't know about these 2 barracks.
Yeah, and it looks like... With the muskets, that will help clean this up a lot quicker. We'll see Kaiser split fire on the 1 HP Minutemen and finish them off. The trample, did you see that? He tried to trample them down.
Close. Yes.
Didn't quite get in there. This looks good for LordRaphael, though. Unless 5 more muskets. There's 10 musks in queue. There they are.
Yeah, that
And
would
that's
win
gonna-
the fight, I think.
That's is going to be what he needs. Really nice use of the trample to try and do the area damage to those Minutemen. Very, very... not often do we see the trample mode being used, since it damages your own units as well. But didn't quite grab it. Either way, though, still seems like quite an even fight. LordRaphael hasn't been able to get up for free. He's been forced into training a bunch of units, calling pikemen. And now Kaiserklein coming at him for a third time, this time with a big army of musks. Does take down a Vil.
This is a strong timing. It's going to be hard for Dutch to hold this. Does have the skirms to poke at the musketeers.
Yeah.
Already the pike count is dwindling.
Yeah.
So.
And a successful hold from LordRaphael. Kaiser's not interested anymore in going in there. And looks like LordRaphael very, very close now to clicking up. He's basically got all the gold he needs.
But I wonder if he has enough to hold while aging.
Yeah. That's the question. Is can he get up? Another villager goes down here. And there's not very many pikes left. These two, not where they need to be versus the cav. A couple of pikes left, but once they go down, these skirms are going to have a real hard time holding against the cav. But there's only... well, there's still 5 left. Now trying to get on top of the skirms.
But I wonder if they're going to be in time. Doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, it feels like he's only just queued them. And
he is clicking up to Fortress, though.
At least he got the age up in queue. But this is what Kaiserklein wanted. He wants to come in just as he's clicking up and punish him for clicking the button. And he has done that.
Meanwhile, actually, we're missing. LordRaphael has he has 3 hussars raiding, and he was idling all of Kaiserklein's Vils.
Ah, okay. None were killed.
He might find the Vils on. Oh, that was close. He was really close to finding the Vils on the right.
He must know that they're nearby. He's looking for them. Did he just duke him? What? I think no, he does see it. He does see it.
He found them. Yeah.
He found them, and that's awkward. But 4 hussars now coming to deflect that, and the CDBs. Remember, they've got a lot of HP, though they don't have great coats. So I think at least a couple might go down here.
But Kaiser is bringing 4 hussars to.
Yeah, does deflect that.
But he's dropping 1. So, but this was a really good raid for LordRaphael. I feel like it kept him in the game because it bought him enough time to. Fortress Age, and it also cut the reinforcements from Kaiser, but it looks like Kaiser is going to follow Rafa to Age 3.
Yeah, 600 coin coming down there, and has used that to click the Age Up button, and is going up with the Exiled Prince, so going to be up really, really soon. Yeah. But let's take a look at the... Go on.
A bit worrying for Kaiserklein is his hunt situation. He's trying to herd one of the middle hunts, but hunts in the base.
Yeah, he's not got a lot of food. Not in his town center anyway. And this is kind of a weak point for him because he's only just started queuing units, dragoons and skirmishers, and he's not going to have them out as well as his shipment for a little while. LordRaphael now coming at him. He's gotten some Reuters out and a couple of hussars.
Yeah, he's already on 20 Reuters. So I feel like Kaiser is in a little bit of a tough spot.
Yeah. And those muskets going down pretty quick there. A couple of dragoons come out as well. But he's got some skirms, but his opponent's sort of matching that. Well, Blue with the skirm shipment, though, and a batch of 5 huss as well. This might be okay for Kaiser.
Yeah. I like how Rafa is pushing between the military buildings. He's like not scared at all. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah. And just being so aggressive with the Reuters here, knowing that he just needs to get this skirm count down, even if skirms counter the Reuters here. But the CDB is going to get involved as well. And there's still quite a good... There's still 13 skirms here for Blue, and with those hussars as well. Looks like Red doesn't want to go in any further because of the CDB that are there. And Kaiser is able to continue gathering, and things will normalize and stabilize. And more skirmishers coming out of the barracks do get a nice volley on there before the red skirms can get out. But let's take a look at the game and the situation we're in, the populations, economically speaking, exactly the same, both on 41 recalculated eco each. And that is because Kaiser got quite a lot of raiding done. He killed 6 villagers early on in the colonial age, which was really nice for him. He didn't lose any himself, even if he may be belled up, so his economic potential isn't damaged. And I think the game actually very balanced. Both players now in the Fortress Age, and both players on very even military counts as well. So still all to play for, and this game is looking quite even. I think we're in for a good one.
Oh yeah, this might be a defining battle though. Rafa sent 4 Hussars.
Yeah.
But I think Kaiser should be able to kite them with the 5 Dragoons.
Yeah. LordRaphael doing a good job of focusing down those goons. More goons entering the fray from Kaiser, which is what he needs to handle these Hussars. Because those are a big threat to his skirmishes here. And behind these Hussars, all of the Reuters are just shooting at the skirms. He needs to get down these Hussars, and then the game... Look at that, really nice control on those red skirmishes, just focusing off these Dragoons here. But now all the Hussars have gone down, and that's brought him a big advantage. Red is now ahead in military. Those Hussars performing really, really nicely.
Even more Hussars coming in. They're not veteran, but they're still doing enough work to get the skirm advantage.
Yeah.
In Rafa's favor.
And he's got no goons here to handle this. The last one does go down. Units in queue. He does have Dragoons in queue, just the one though. And but not here at the moment. And the skirms, they've been backed into a corner now. There's 3 Hussar on top of them. These Vils trying to fight. Looks like all the Huss are nearly down, but Red is really far ahead in this fight. That was a really, really nice couple of fights for him.
This is looking really good for LordRaphael now.
Yeah. Looking really, really good. He does... The Dragoons do pop, though. He's got 3 Dragoons here. But too little, too late. There's no Hussar anymore. They've been and gone. Needs to get his skirmisher count up. 2 Falconets are arriving. Okay. And that is something France does have in the Fortress Age that Dutch does not. But there are, quite a reasonable number of Reuters there. 7 more coming as well as 4 Hussars for LordRaphael. And all of those units will be quite scary against
7
Falconets.
Reuters isn't always the best shipment, but I think he knows that Falconets have to be on the way for Kaiser. So he just wants to get a big enough Reuter mass that he can trade off the Falconets.
Yeah, that he can actually handle them. They have been set up now. Kaiserklein poking forward with them. Stagger mode coming out as well. The extra spacing, so the area damage isn't so strong, but those Reuters, he's now coming in. 1 volley there. Only a couple of goons here. Those Huss going to get right onto those Falconets, and the Reuters going to focus the other one, and going to be making short work of that. And I think now that was Kaiser's final efforts to keep in this game, and LOL GG coming out. To us, that looked like, quite a close game, but I don't think Kaiser, judging by the LOL and the follow-up comment, is too overly impressed with the way he played it.
I think it was an entertaining game to watch. Looks like they wasn't super pleased with their own gameplay, but it was a nice game to watch, I think.
Yeah. And LordRaphael not pleased either. You can just see these 2 players. They're just not satisfied, which is the mark of a high-level player. There's always things to manage and stuff like that. But yes, Kaiser killed 6 Vils, but wasn't enough, I suppose. LordRaphael takes the first game on Kamchatka. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, you are watching a best of 9 series between LordRaphael and Kaiserklein, the #1 and 2 seed for the New World Championship. I am joined by Taben, also a top 8 player, who will be competing in the NWC LAN, and he's co-casting with me today. Thank you very much for joining me, Taben. And
yes, sir.
Yeah, let's get on out into the next game, which will be on Baja, California. Okay.
We can see that on the villager graph, Raphael he lost 5 villagers while just before aging, and I think Kaiser had a really strong timing in Rafa's base with the musketeers and the hussars.
Yeah.
Rafa he came back he did a really good job at coming back with the hussars raiding. He had 4 hussars raiding during that push. And that was such a key moment, or such a good play to buy enough time to safely get up. And to Kaiserklein's reinforcements for that push.
Yeah. It's amazing what a good raid can do.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. If you can just have a few units in the back line, particularly Cav with the speed.
Yes.
To do some damage. But the next map,
Yes.
just confirming there the rules. I think for the show matches, we do need a new map pool, just so that players don't have to give away their secret preps and strats.
Yeah, and also, like, during the qualification, we've been watching the same maps all over and over again. So I think it could be good for viewers as well to watch some other maps for show matches and stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, originally the planning was we want these 9 maps to become really well known by everyone, and like the strategies to become really well known, and like
yeah, I like that.
Yeah, because then by the time you get to the LAN, like these maps have kind of been figured out, and people really know the matchups well and how to play it really well, and that's kind of what we want to see. And if you have a really big map pool, you get sort of less of that, perhaps. But you are right; it's sort of we've seen these maps so often now, and there is a lot more.
Do you
on
want
offer.
me to guess what
Yes.
Kaiser will pick? I think he will pick Ottomans.
Otto?
Yes.
Well done.
Called it.
There it is.
Because I think he likes this matchup from both civs or from both sides, but on this map in particular, I know he thinks it's really Otto favored because you just have one safe mine in base as Germany, and Ottoman, they can get the super strong trading posts in the middle that almost always gives you the first pass of XP. So they get like their first villager shipment super early, and yeah, it's a good map for Otto.
Yeah, that middle TP pass, and which doesn't exist according to Gurja. But
Exactly, the controversial XP pass.
Yeah, this map was picked when it was bigger, and then I think Gurja had some plans to make it smaller even way before we picked it, and because we picked it, he was, it sort of got him in gear a bit. He decided to make the changes that he had planned for a long time. Silent Flower coming in with $2. Thank you for casting. So much fun. Yes, it is. Yeah. It is good fun. And
it is a wood start, which means that Germany could also go for the middle pass. But it looks like he's heading post because the middle one might be a little bit harder to defend versus Ottomans.
But that's where Kaiser is going as well.
Oh no!
They're both going for that bottom TP. Perhaps he sees a 80 wood treasure. He's going to crack shot it, and that means Red will get there first.
Yeah. That's a bit unfortunate.
Yeah, Otto not going to get that, which will be frustrating for him. He probably assumed that... Well, I wonder why he didn't go for the middle. He gets there, I think he saw it being built and decides, actually, no, I'm going to go to the middle there.
I think it's easier to... Or it's more certain that you get the middle pass if you spawn to the right side. So I think he spawned left and thought that he played it safe and took the bottom one. But... taking the bottom one as well. he missed out on that one, and that's kind of big.
Yeah, but yeah, he's not going to get that shipment quite so soon. Like right now, he could be sending the 3 villagers from the home city, but not the case. It's going to be very, very even here, and both players, by the looks of it, going to get that pretty much the same time. So such is the way of things there. Kaiser is also got a church that he has built.
But now it's a bit awkward because Kaiser is going back to pick up the wood treasure, but Rafa hasn't scouted it. He picked up 40 XP. Had he been a bit lucky, he could have walked by the 80 wood treasure with only 1 grizzly bear.
And then he would have had a nice free, easy picking. You got the first pass. Oh, yeah, of course, LordRaphael wouldn't have seen what had happened there. He should have just said yes, and just like make your opponent think. Yeah, but yes, he's now getting millet system as well, so that's just going to spend 100 wood at the church to speed up the villager production. That's not something you see sort of overly often, but I suppose on EP you're more likely to have a mosque because it grants more XP than usual.
It was a wood start as well, and he picked up the 80 wood.
Oh, I see.
He's actually clicking up at a very good time, despite not getting the first XP pass.
Okay, so all said and done, things not too bad. And that's really nice to see, actually. Ottoman don't often get that that upgrade, I feel like. But today is going to get it early off the back of that 80 wood treasure, which is really nice. And it looks like Kaiser has also found a 120 XP treasure and is just going to sort of creep these guardians. Although, having said that, it's going to leave them alone.
So 150 coin in line of sight of the middle trading post. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Kaiser pick that up with some early Janissaries or Hussars.
Yeah, and we see a villager now coming forward, although that may just be for the hunt. We shall see. Looks like she's stopping at... Yeah, okay, it's just going to be herding there. No forward military building just yet. Kaiser, though, is going to build another trading post, which he's chopped for during transition there. So
and now we see two villagers coming forward. I think Kaiser likes to go for Jan Hussar in this matchup versus
Otto.
Germany.
Yes, Germany.
And that can be tricky to hold for Germany.
Yeah. We'll see where he places his initial barracks. Perhaps in the center here. Nice, lots of map control in the middle. The units close to everything and the TP, and indeed this coin treasure as well. Let's see how close he can get to his opponent. Barracks now coming down there. But LordRaphael only 2/3 of the way up to the colonial age now, and that barracks of Ottoman is already going down.
Yeah, thankfully for Raphael, his mine is in the back, and it's not very easily harassed from his opponent.
Yep, barracks now
he
up.
Maybe scouted the barracks. What do you think?
It's hard to know that if he has or not. I'm going to...
I think anyways, I think he's anyway anticipating some sort of pressure.
Yeah, barracks going up at home there. But 4 Janissaries now in queue for... I think he would have known, right? He would have seen this dead animal, and he'll know that... he's certainly seen it now with his Explorer, but
yes,
just wants to make sure for certain. But with the animal on the floor there, he knows that 2 villagers are gathering, so he can expect a forward base in this location. And Stable now going to go down as well behind that, just like you said. But 5 Jans now coming out, and they will be scouted immediately by LordRaphael's Explorer here. It does get the snare on the Explorer with his Explorer, and that might slow him down just enough to get a volley of shots off from his Jan. Certainly one. But pikeman in queue for LordRaphael.
Yeah,
and
so
8 crossbows.
He's actually anticipating the unit composition from Kaiser, so he knows there will be Hussars coming as well.
Yeah, and nicely handled. He does take a volley on 2 Jans and sacrifices one of them. And didn't get too much... I guess he killed his opponent's Explorer? No, that's still up as well. Those Jans didn't really achieve too much. And LordRaphael, a really defensive play here. He's starting with 8 crossbows immediately and has 5 pikemen from his first batch and immediately has quite a strong army here that I don't think Ottoman was necessarily expecting.
This is a risky push from him because he must know there are Hussars in queue.
Yeah.
And we see Kaiser also has 700 food already sent.
Yeah.
And there are the 5 Hussars.
5 Hussars. He's got 4 more pikes coming in behind this, though, so should be enough pikes to at least threaten these Hussars away, which is the case. Couple of Uhlans on the front, tanking, doing some extra damage with the crossbows in the back. And looks like it went okay, but with the 4 Hussars, this is looking good for Kaiser.
This is really coming down to micro, but we see the pikes are already down.
Yeah.
And only a few Uhlan plus Minutemen to deal with the Hussars right now.
Yeah. But the Uhlans look like they're going to survive just long enough for the Minutemen to get
and with
into
the Minutemen,
position.
he should be fine. I wonder if he's going to keep pushing, though. Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, I wonder what's in queue. He's still got... There's only Hussar in queue at the moment, so it's not like a batch of Jans is about to pop. This could be okay for LordRaphael, but perhaps he's concerned now. He's going to get back. And just in time, just as that batch of Hussars arrives, he's going to leave. We take a look at units lost now that the dust has settled after that fight. 11 Jans and 3 Hussars went down, and that was traded for 8 pikes, 2 crossbows, and 3 Ullans. So actually, I think LordRaphael, that was pretty good for him in terms of resources traded.
Another push with 3 doppels, and we see both the Jans and Hussars in queue. The barracks was repaired for Kaiser,
Yeah.
so he's gonna have a little bit of additional time.
But doppels and pikes represent so much siege, but not before 5 Jans come out. A lot of damage on that building, but it's not going to matter here. With the Jans, it looks like he's going to try and push forward, but Dops and pikes coming in, and that means the Hussars, they don't really want to get involved. And the Dops doing a good job, doing a lot of damage here with supporting fire from 1 HP Minutemen and crossbows in the back. But small batch of Hussar do pop out, and they find themselves on top of the Minutemen there. And with the crossbows in the back line, these pikes are not there to defend it. But the pikes and Dops, they've found these cav. They're doing some damage, but they are going to go down now. But not before they get a good trade versus these Huss.
This was a really close fight. The Dops did some really good work, but it looks like it's really even.
Yeah, it's still really
it's
even.
so hard to tell.
But LordRaphael is the winner of this fight. Does have to handle one final Hussar, which will be a bit awkward with crossbows. It's going to get perhaps another kill there. But
the barracks is being repaired again.
Yeah, just trying to buy as much time
which
as
is really
he can.
important for Kaiser. And he has Stagecoach in as well.
Yeah. Did you notice that the exact same time as I did, as it just trundles by the stable and
Yes.
the barracks? It was just like, oh, right, nice, there it is. Yeah.
Just passing by.
Yeah, we found it. And a foundry's not given up on this location, Tabin. Kaiser wants to chuck down a foundry in the back here. He's confident that he's not going to lose this position.
Foundry
But yes,
is really nice from Kaiser because you can see where Kaiser's Explorer is. He must, I think he's seen the second barracks from LordRaphael. So he knows it's a double barracks from Germany. So I really like that he's adding an artillery foundry for some Abus guns.
to handle all the infantry. Yeah,
Exactly.
definitely makes sense. But this looks like LordRaphael has got the numbers to deal with this barracks here. He's got pikemen in the back there, and units in queue. Abbas only just have been trained, but I think LordRaphael, he doesn't know that. He's only just seen this foundry, so I wonder if he'll get jittery about that. But he is going to take down a barracks, and more pikemen joining the fray
he's also
here.
causing some idle time for Kaiser by 2 Yulan raid.
Yeah, one does get away. Yeah, now villagers just coming back to work. But it is important to mention, like you said, that Stagecoach is behind this. So Ottoman does have a bit of an eco bonus there, but it's not super big. Janistries are now going to be supported by Abbas guns because... And this looks pretty good, but behind this, the pikemen doing a lot of siege. And he does lose his barracks and stable. And I was going to say, the Stagecoach is important, but LordRaphael also has one. And there's not been an opportunity this game
Kaiser
for him.
went, with his first 5 Janissaries, he went straight to base to harass, instead of going for the trading post, which is a bit of a trade-off.
Yeah, you could be using them to
idle
siege,
a bit
right?
of villagers, but instead he chose to harass a bit.
I'm playing like a Lieutenant Colonel. Well, to be honest, I'd still like to see a Lieutenant Colonel play, so that's fine. He's doing all right. You're doing fine.
Fine, but I think in this game, LordRaphael is in a really good spot. We can see he still has 1.5k gold in his starting mine. A really good job with preserving that in case he would try to age up, because that's a common age up. Normally, like you run out of coin just about the time you go for the age up.
Yeah. And I thought those Abbas guns were in trouble, but He's got quite a lot of them. Now pushing forwards with them. Those pikes don't seem overly useful anymore to me.
I feel like Kaiser has the
Ah!
composition advantage, but Rafa has the mass advantage.
And the Jan's
Be
quite far
able
away.
Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't too good for Kaiser. He needs his Janissaries here to defend. But, God, Abyss Guns do so much damage, and the Abyss Guns held their own and killed some Cav.
Yeah.
Jeez. He only lost 3 Abyss Guns. Damn. God, these things are strong.
You can see the pikes are just melting away, and they don't really have much value anymore, except for taking down the trading posts of Kaiser.
Yeah.
Don't see Kaiser adding a stable. I think he's just gonna go for the composition.
Yeah, he's currently just got his barracks in the back that he's built and his forward artillery foundry. And it looks like his army's now positioning itself up north to fend off the crossbows, the pikemen.
Wow.
But meanwhile, there's a lot of Ills here, and those Uhlans have just spotted them. Not going to go down, though.
Yeah. But 5 Abus popping right on top of the crossbows, so they're not getting the best trade. I think 3 were picked off, almost 4 right away.
Yeah, and they're so expensive. Only got 2 there. Damn. Those pikemen are they're real thorn in his side. They're just killing all the TPs. I guess they don't add a super amount of value in a fight, but he's just trying to shoot them down with the Abyss.
They're buying time for him to age up right now, which is really good for LordRaphael. He's forcing the Abyss guns to be back in Kaiser's base, while he's safely aging up behind it.
That's a lot of villages.
I feel like Kaiser might just resign when he sees the age up.
Yeah.
We'll see. He does have the trading post still. He has the bottom one, and he's gonna retake the middle one.
Yeah, but meanwhile is losing the top one. So they're just constantly trading posts. They're switching hands constantly.
Kaiser is also on berries, which isn't really what you want to.
Yeah, for sure.
That treasure was never picked up. The 150 coin.
Oh, it's still sitting yet. Yeah, this game was so hectic. Yeah. Like, there was so much fighting happening in the middle of the map. There just wasn't ever time to grab it. I suppose after this TP.
It's also easy to get tunnel vision when you're fighting nearby. If you remember the game I played versus Kainisi on Deccan, there was a 300 wood treasure laying near the Agra fort, and we did it.
Oh, you guys forgot about it. That's right.
So it's easy to get tunnel vision when you're fighting, and there we see Kaiser calling the GG.
Yeah, and looks like Kaiser tilt mode activated. You can tell in the
I feel I mean, this was his counter pick, so I feel like he definitely thought he could have done better in this. Still, it was a really nice build from Rafa, I think, with the early 8 crossbow shipment, and he was really getting good value from that. Not scared to go near the racks from Kaiser and trade off the Janissaries.
Yeah, so much fighting in the early portion.
It was really hectic. It was really nice to watch, and it was a lot of micro involved.
Yeah,
Kaiser desperately trying to pick off the pikemen from Rafa, desperately trying to siege down the barracks as soon as possible, and Kaiser repairing it as soon as he can.
All right, let's head on into the next one. A couple of very scrappy games, especially that one we just witnessed. I think a lot of the time on Baja California, we're expecting sometimes a dock and certainly a longer game, but here not the case today. It's an interesting point, actually, that you only have one sort of mine in base, and that does force you to be somewhat aggressive, or it can speed the game up.
Yeah, I feel like these two players maybe not the most likely to go for water, and especially in this matchup, we could maybe see Ottoman drop a dock in this matchup in particular.
Can we see the Civ selection screen just for a moment? It is New England. I thought so. Okay. I still haven't learnt the order of the maps, it seems, sometimes.
Yeah.
I think I'm so reliant. I'm so used to being able to see on this screen next to me, during the stream where the overlays pop up and we can see very, very easily. But Kaiser, he's still got Ottoman available. And on New England, that's a very strong Civ that we like him to... that we see he takes quite a lot that he likes.
Yeah.
And there it is. So I guess LordRaphael picks first here. And I wonder if Kaiser will just stay as the Ottoman. We know Abbas gun's also really strong against boats, and that nullifies the advantage of putting them in the ponds that we do often see on New England. So it could be a good map for him as well. But I don't think we're likely to see a lot of sea or a lot of ocean play. Both these players, I think, much more land-focused. And LordRaphael actually going to go with the logic that I was saying, picking Ottoman here.
That's interesting. I wonder if Kaiser is going to go Ottomans as well.
And...
or is he going to reverse the last matchup and go for Germany?
We shall see what he goes with, but Sampu Kanku, aka Somali, coming in with a $1 donation. Garja was asked about his greatness weakness in an interview, and he said, "My stubbornness." They asked him, they asked to give more details. Garja said, "Lag out." Okay, there's your message.
Right, thank you for the $1, Sampu.
Yeah, Sampu was, he said, well, I think it's a $2 minimum. It doesn't appear on the stream unless it's $2, and Sampu said he felt scammed, so I felt obligated to read it out for him.
Fair enough.
Ottoman mirror here, and I think Ottoman often gets a bad rap as like a newbie civ, but here we're seeing it played from both of them.
It's funny to see. It's funny to see two of the maybe strongest mechanical players play a civ that's not really known for mechanical or relying on mechanics, so to say.
Yeah.
But it depends. Actually, in the Otto mirror, you might see a lot of Abus guns, and they require a lot of micromanagement. So that could be very intensive.
Yeah.
Which could favor these players.
And I often feel like, as Ottoman, you have sort of a lot less villages and a lot less stuff to sort of manage in terms of an economy, and you don't queue vills and all these things.
Yeah,
so
it's not very APM heavy.
Yeah, which means you can spend more time looking at your army, and perhaps that will favor them. But yeah, there's not a lot going on, especially in the early game.
We should maybe look at the map and see if it's fair.
Hot damn.
I feel like Kaiser has a second mine, while
this map doesn't. This map is rubbish. Bad map.
Would be so nice if you, as a caster, just could place another mine where you want.
Just spawn it in on the map.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that might be possible.
Most part for
that's amazing.
Caster. Yeah, it would be good.
That's such an interesting idea. Can you imagine it? Just
I think it should actually be possible, but it's maybe a bit controversial.
Yeah, it would be very, very controversial.
Yeah.
But I kind of like the idea
of deal to rehost.
I kind of like the idea of using that in like a SmackDown and just like not for balance purposes, just placing resources because I feel like it. That sounds really fun.
Let's try to force a fight over here. Add a new hunt.
Yeah. All right. I guess both players are offline.
Maybe restarting. They realized they had a sound bug, both of them, or something.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Kaiserklein's now back on.
I wonder, will we be getting sound bug at the lawn? I suppose we will.
Well, I've never had sound bug on these PCs. So
Okay, that's good to know, because it's like some players, they never get the sound bug at all.
Yeah.
And some players seem to get it every game. It's really like computer dependent.
Yeah, I think if you turn VSync on, it makes it less likely. I'm not sure if that's true. But,
It's true, but it also has some other effects. It does minimize the chance of getting, or the risk of getting sound bug.
Okay, well, I've not had the sound bug on these PCs, so it seems like it's okay. But it's possible at the LAN, I suppose. I hope it doesn't happen. But we are getting into game number 3 here. It will be on New England and Ottoman Mirror in this Best of 9 series for $100. New donation. God of Squishy coming in with 636. Don't forget to breathe, Kaiser, he says. Thank you, God of Squishy. God, that name
is important.
Yep, that does help you win games. God, this is perhaps the most balanced New England I've ever seen. Look at those gold mines. They're perfect.
Let me see.
Look at that.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Look at that one. Look, it's like a perfect ring, isn't it? Like they're just like exactly. It's magical. It's like a fairy ring almost. All right.
It's good, and it's also very balanced in terms of sheep. I think they have 4 each.
We'll just let the players know they've got a great map here. Oh,
Great
having
map
said that
hype.
though, has look at Kaiserklein's base. The one I think I was misled. This mine is his starting mine, and then he doesn't have another one behind his base. Was I misled? It looks like I was. But they
both have a starting mine, and then they have 3 additional
each.
mines
Yeah.
on
No, that's
their
fine.
side. So I think it's good.
Yeah, that is
and
fine.
hunts also look.
Yep, hunts are okay. One.
I think we're not going to get better if we try to restart again.
Kaiser probably has better hunts, but LordRaphael has a back mine there as his second mine, which it's you have to draw the line somewhere, right? But this is fine, and we're good to go. But I think there is a new version of New England that's coming into play for the LAN that will be in the next iteration of EP, which has better gold mine distribution or better gold mine balance. Moreover, I should say. But that will be ready in time for the LAN. Garger's made the edits for that, so we should thank the G. He does contribute to ESOC, and he is a great guy. Although
we get
salty.
some ESOC G in the chat, please.
That's right. We need some ESOC G. He's a great guy. He can just be very stubborn. It's one way of putting it. My any deck disappeared.
Oh, that's awkward.
Are you ready?
I feel like...
Yes.
Well, it looks like he wants to proceed anyways.
They're the same deck. They both have the same...
It does look reasonable.
No frigate. But he has 3 galleys. But... Yeah. Okay. Well, the decks look similar. The only difference is that LordRaphael has a frigate and does not have the 3 Fortress Age galleys. But Kaiserklein, the opposite is true. So they've just switched that one card by the looks of it. But it seems like Kaiser would prefer to have both boat shipments in his deck. It sounds like.
I wonder why, because I think Kaiser played Ottomans on this map earlier in the tournament. So maybe he changed his mind recently that he'd rather have the frigate than the 3 galleys.
Yeah, I think maybe after watching that game where Tit played against, I can't remember whoever it was. It was Snow, yes. And I think he spawned as Aztecs only 2 boats when he should have gotten 3. Maybe it just takes one of those incidents to make you think, oh god, I don't want 3 galleys anymore.
Yeah.
Something like that, perhaps. But both players are having a brawl in the middle of the map here. Looks like Kaiser will come out ahead. But both players have gotten a TP in Age 1, and both players now going up to the Colonial Age. LordRaphael about 7% ahead of his opponent, but pretty much both players going up
and we
at the
see
same
that
time.
Raphael, he will, if he goes down with his Explorer now, he will respawn at the trading post.
Yeah.
Kaiser is trying to bait him away from the trading post's line of
Ah,
sight.
clever.
Yeah, but that's like, it could be good and it could be bad because
It's
dies.
that's
Yeah, that's
Kaiserklein.
probably-
That he doesn't like. Obviously, if he's standing next to the TP, as soon as he gets the 100 HP, you're right. He just stands back up. But now that he's not next to it, that won't be the case. Kaiser successfully baiting him, and now can go back to this treasure for a villager there. That's really nice.
It was clever from Kaiser, but he could also intentionally have Rafa die near the trading post and then pick up the native warrior or something, and then immediately catch the explorer again. As well, I think Rafa will have to bring some villager or something.
Yeah. Oh, you mean this treasure up here? Yeah, maybe LordRaphael, because it looked like he was still. Maybe he wanted to die here so that he can't just lose his Explorer twice when it stands back up, something like that. But both players now up to the Fortress Age, the Colonial Age, and LordRaphael, in fact, both players going
he sent
with
sheep.
the
Nice
200
one.
coin. He sent sheep?
Yeah, he sent the sheep for line of sight, so his Explorer is
Wait,
back in business.
Your Explorer can be picked up by a sheep?
The sheep gives line of sight, and that's all you need for reviving your
That's
Explorer.
amazing.
So that was,
oh my god.
That's really neat. But he didn't pick up the villager. He was really close to stealing it.
Yeah. Kaiser does get that in the end there. I didn't know that sheep could, because sheep can't convert other sheep, so I just assumed that they would not be able to pick up an Explorer or something like that, but not the case, apparently. But there are some deviations already. They've gone with the same shipments, or 700 coin from LordRaphael. We'll see Kaiser's in just a moment. No, it will be identical shipments, both going to Fast Fortress, but Raphael putting his outpost at home, whereas Kaiserklein is going to build his quite far forward, as close as he can get to this ocean, and can use it as a jumping off point for home city shipments. And indeed, it does protect, or is quite offensive on that water, actually. It gives him a bit of extra output of damage there. But LordRaphael has now clicked up, will be going up with the Admiral of the Ocean Sea, and has moved his flag into the pond here, so the caravel will be going in. Kaiser also going up with that same politician, and he has also moved his flag just now as well. So both players going to ship into the water, but with the outpost here, I think Kaiser has the advantage slightly. Coming in with his Explorer just to check what's going on. He sees the outpost, and he's going to be almost sure what's going on now. 700 wood coming down from Kaiserklein for all of the infrastructure. And LordRaphael, I'm sure, will be doing the same. Hasn't arrived just yet, but we'll see that very shortly.
The outpost does provide a safe spot for Kaiserklein's galley, but I think LordRaphael, he will kind of negate the Kaiser would otherwise have got with his galley by placing his own in the other side. So Kaiser can't really harass villagers or anything with his galley, I think.
Yeah, but with his forward outpost, it does, give him a safe spot. So it's not like if he loses the galley fight, he's just going to lose his galley. He can come back and defend that. And also,
exactly.
I wonder
like
if
Rafa's galley was to shoot at Kaiser's first, then he'd be
okay.
in a good spot. But Kaiser can always retreat to the outpost.
But he's also, this outpost has secured him perhaps 3 trading posts, or at least he's built 3. And that also stems down, I suppose, to killing his opponent's Explorer and denying him the ability to build one during transition, something like that. So Kaiser is ahead on TPs, and I wonder if he'll get Stagecoach off the back of that. 700 wood might be worth doing. But LordRaphael now up to the next age. Sea Peacock is the name of the boat that has arrived, and indeed will be met by Sea Rampart, but immediately gets back to the outpost. Now coming forward, broadside in position. Looks like both players will do that. Kaiser gets the first shot off. And,
wow.
Whoa! Holy good lord.
That went really quickly.
Galleys have so few hit points. That was absurd.
I wonder if that was actually normal, or because it made insane damage.
Jesus. What the?
Yeah, we'll have to rewatch that later. But one galley does go down.
What the? Holy crap! What? What?
I actually can't tell if it's a bug or if it's maybe some RNG based. Because there's certain RNG in the ship combat, but I wonder if that's the case here. But a frigate coming out, and that's gonna take out the.
Yeah, it does deal with the frigate does handle that, and he's
and
gotten
the frigate's also gonna provide some firepower versus the larger Janissary mass from Kaiser.
And he's going to be able to take down this outpost here. Frigates do have a lot of HP. He's going to trade a lot of HP against it there, which doesn't feel too good, especially with these Jans coming in. 2 Falconets have been set up as well, but the boat does see that. The Falconets, I thought for a moment, would get the shot off because of the lock-on mechanic and having line of sight from the Janissaries, but not the case. And that boat does stay alive, but it won't be wanting to get to the coast anytime soon. But
and meanwhile, Kaiser picked off the last trading post. Might go to build it himself. And I feel like Kaiser is probably not too keen on pushing right now. He's probably fine just staying in the middle.
Yeah, looks like the lag has passed. It can always happen. Someone might upload like a picture to Facebook in one of the players' houses if they share the internet connection, and that can spike the connection. And because there's 4 of us in here, that can happen. So we'll just wait for it to pass.
It feels weird.
So let's talk about that boat again. I think like every gun has like a timer on it, and I don't actually think it is RNG based, but it feels like it is. It feels very clunky to use the boats. And it looked like LordRaphael's boat just got absolutely devastated. Looks like, though, Kaiser has got 3 galleys on the way. He's just moved it into the open ocean there. And all 3 do spawn.
Yes. One
goes down immediately due to the Falks. And is going to be able to take down the frigate. Yeah, nicely done.
Rafa picking off the Falks before get into volley mode. And he still has 1 up. Might get... Oh, he cleaned up all the galleys. And fire from Minutemen. I think this trade should be quite even.
Yeah, there's 23 blue gens and 16 red ones. But had to pay quite a lot of Janissaries to kill those 2 Falconets. And now all of the boat shipments are gone. Neither player has any more in their deck. So this pond is now dead water, so to speak.
Yes.
Looks like, though, with the Minutemen mixed in here, it looks like LordRaphael does have the slight advantage now. He's killed a few Jans, but 5 pop out, and that's going to swing it, plus the outpost fire as well. This will be a close fight, but I think Blue will come out ahead. He's going to snare him with the 3 Janissaries, just to keep him close enough to get a few extra volleys in. I really like that. And it does kill off that final Jan.
This is a good trade for Kaiser, but 8 more Jans with 5 additional trained coming out for LordRaphael.
Yeah, just a bit of a Jan war.
Yes.
And neither player has Falconets, neither player has boats. This is just a Janissary mess. And I think now with that wood shipment, Kaiser's going to look to build something to add to his composition, because you won't be adding to your composition through shipments anymore, unless perhaps they have 5 Abyss guns in deck. But we'll see.
Yeah. I feel like Kaiser was probably overestimated his advantage a bit with the pond control and the Falconet he had. But now that he lost the advantage, he might have needed something other than the 1k wood, like Janissary combat or 5 Abyss guns or something.
Yeah, a wood perhaps going to slow him down a bit too much. And,
because I feel like he was maybe planning on taking Stagecoach with the 1k wood. What he adds, he's adding an artillery foundry. So we're either going to see more Falks or some Abyss guns.
In fact, 2 artillery foundries in queue. 1 here and 1 here.
Then I'd say we're seeing Abus guns.
Yeah. And he's just trying to hold on to that barracks as long as he can, but he thinks, well, clearly he's got fewer Janissaries. He's going to lose it. But does get that batch of 5. Did you see that? Just in time.
Millisecond, yeah.
Yeah, they just popped out of the barracks just as... Can you imagine being trained in that barracks? Just like you're a Janissary going through Janissary school and just as you would graduate.
You just passed the final exam before...
your school gets blown up.
School gets destroyed. That's funny.
But...
Yeah, this is interesting because that was a really good trade for Raphael, but Kaiser is, with the 3 TPs, he's really ahead on shipment. He's like 1 entire shipment ahead, or even more. You see, 12:05, his 1k coin arrives.
Yeah, and 12:11 for the other.
Yeah, so we see that the 3 TPs, they really paid off for...
Yeah, and you think at this point in the game, that's 1,000 resources worth of stuff when you're in the Fortress Age. Indeed, 1,000 gold now coming down, and that will be used to fund Abbas gun production. They're very coin heavy, and he's got 2 foundries, so going to be able to chuck them out pretty quick. But both players now...
This is an interesting deviation because Rafa, he didn't send 1k wood, so he's not adding any military building. He's instead sending 1k wood, maybe intending to ship 4 Mamelukes as next card. He does have them in deck.
Yeah, he has them in deck there.
He does approach a shipment.
It's 39 Janissaries versus 20 Jans and 10 Abbas. And I think the Abbas are going to be enough to swing it, but not before that TP goes down. The Abbas guns are going to push Raphael back. But you are right. I think 1,000 gold was just spent, and it certainly... units in queue wasn't on military units, so Mamelukes are on the way, and Mamelukes are going to be really, really good against these Abbas guns here. But having said that, Abbas guns do, the range resist on the Mamelukes will be negated, but still cavalry is what he needs. Pushing forwards here with his Abbas, trying to get damage.
More importantly, the Mamelukes, they provide the snare for the Janmass to catch up with the Abbas guns.
Yeah. That's true. But Kaiser, I wonder...
coming to raid. They might get a good raid on the gold mine or the hunt.
They found the hunt.
Rafa, I think he reacted in time, might lose 1 vil.
Yeah, that is going to go down. But he doesn't have... Raphael, he hasn't upgraded the at the monastery to get... Sorry, the mosque to get the more villages. His build limit is still 25. And that's a gold upgrade, so I imagine... he was just using his gold to get Mamelukes out, and perhaps he'll get his mosque upgrade now. But Mamelukes have just arrived. But if the game continues to go on after this fight, he's not training villagers anymore. But 4 Mamelukes have arrived, and let's see what he can get done with them. Kaiserklein, he hasn't seen them just yet, but may expect them. He hasn't seen any Abbas guns or anything like that, so he must anticipate the coin is being trained on something else. But the units, they are going to find a lot of hunt up in the top here. But not the same for Lord Raphael. No villagers here except these 2. But he has got 2 military buildings that he might be able to kill. But I think the Foundry may have seen the Mamelukes, so Blue will be aware of them.
This is an awkward position or moment for Rafa. It looks like he's going to save most of his vills. 5 Jans catching the Hussars.
Yeah.
Rafa is taking down the military buildings from Kaiser, and that's a really nice pickup.
Yeah, meanwhile, I think, Kaiser may have killed a few villagers. I'm not sure how many. Overall, he's killed 4 villagers this game. But in return, Lord Raphael kills the buildings, which I think are much more valuable.
And he's raiding with the Mamelukes right now. I wonder if that's the best option. He's picking up a lot of vills.
Of a 1500 HP unit. But they still have an attack comparable to Hussar. So yeah, they can raid.
And the good thing is he wasn't... he was able to back off with his Janissary mass in time. But the Mamelukes...
Are they going to get caught? There's a Hussar, it's got the snare. And 1 volley comes from the Janissaries there. It looks like he is going to get away. Jan's coming in now to back up the...
Don't really want to drop an entire Mameluk to the snare, but yeah, it looks like we might have a
good
fight
positioning from Kaiser. Those Mamelukes are nowhere near the Abbas guns, and that's exactly what he needs. And looks like LordRaphael just going to get out of here. But now the Mams have made their way around. And Kaiser just sort of walking his Jans in there. Pardon me, Abbas guns. Not too good from him. But the Jans do get in the way of the Mamelukes there. And now...
One Mameluke down. And...
Yeah. 37 Janissaries versus 18 and 11
necessary
Abbas.
combat coming in for Raphael. I think this is looking really good for Raphael.
Both players have have that card, though. But there's so many more Janissaries for LordRaphael that it's going to have such a much more pronounced effect.
Yeah, the problem for Raphael is he only has one Mameluke remaining, and that's the only thing he can use to snare the Abbas guns.
Yeah, and now that they're sort of all gone, look at this. The Janissaries, they can't... But they do take out the Explorer just before the trading post goes down. But these Abbas can just kite the Jans all day long. And sure, LordRaphael's army may be bigger and scarier, but the Abbas guns, look at that, pulling them as well.
Kaiser is pulling the... Yeah, that's a really, really useful mechanic for for this type of composition, because you almost always have more Abbas guns than... you almost always have more Janissaries than Abbas guns.
Yeah, for sure. And good use of that. Picked up a few Jan kills for free. And once the Mamelukes ran out, that was all he had that was stopping Kaiser from doing this all day long. But let's take a look at the positions of these two players. The military unit's population is quite even. But behind this, and the economy unit population is very even as well, except that... Kaiserklein, he has 3 trading posts, was trying to get that 4th, and Stagecoach, so has a really, really nice eco here. But LordRaphael, he's got every upgrade. Well, he's got steel traps, I should say, not every upgrade, but a lot of these villas on berries, so not going to be actually using that in terms of upgrades. Yeah. Kaiserklein has got none. No upgrades on his villagers at all, so I think...
that's a bit surprising, but I guess with 3 Stagecoach TPs, you're kind of... fine not having the market upgrades, but I guess once you start adding the mosque upgrades, you want the market upgrades as well.
Yeah, and 2 galleys coming out as well, and that's going to be really nice. You can just drop back to the galleys if he needs
and
to.
They're actually denying this hunt for Raphael, which is really big.
Mameluke raid. There's only one though. So it's, I guess it's not going to achieve too much. It might as well be raiding. Does kill a villager.
See Kaiser is bringing some Janissaries to take it down.
Oh, and these houses are in range too, so going to lose those. Does have 4 Abbas guns coming out, but I'm not sure how much damage they can do. Jesus Christ, Sea Peacock taking a beating from those Abbas guns. But yeah,
this one's also named Sea Peacock, yeah.
And Sea Lion. House does go down, though. But yeah, there's those galleys. H2 shipment, quite nice. But I think, yeah, as we said, no upgrades for Kaiser, but the Stagecoach is going to more than make up for that. But 5 Spahi now coming out from LordRaphael, and that Mameluke, I'm not sure where it is. It's being a real nuisance over here. Kind of shuts down that foundry. Or perhaps not. I suppose 5 Abbas could probably handle a low HP Mameluke. But a lot of Cav now, and those are going to be what he needs to handle the Abbas guns. 1 galley down. The Abbas guns have killed it there. And I think Kaiser is a bit afraid of the Spahi. He's getting back here. More Jans coming in, though. He's got a big Jan mass. So when push comes to shove, maybe he'll be okay.
Yeah, Rafa has a strong army, but he's kind of in an awkward spot because he can't really take a fight in this choke near the
galley.
Meaning.
Trying to get his broadside on those Abbas guns, and he does! And he kills a lot of them in a trade. But Spahi now coming into position. And
we see the Abbas guns from Rafa doing a lot of damage to the galley.
Yeah, where are they? Yeah, Sea Lion on half HP here.
Yeah, but a lot of the Abbas guns are down already. He only has 3 remaining in his main army.
I don't think that LordRaphael can take that fight. And there's just no way the Spahi can get near the Jans. If they could, though, then he'd be okay. And just picking them off whenever he can. Yeah, LordRaphael realizes this, and GG, Kaiser picks up his first win in the series, bringing it up to 1-2. That was a really, really nice game. Was it only 21 minutes? It felt Felt much longer than 21 minutes.
Yeah. That was an interesting game. We see that they both were, they both had a good idea of the Ottoman meta on this map. Kind of mirrored their builds early on.
Yeah.
But we saw that Kaiser added the Ebuscan sooner, was really paying off, and he also had the large advantage of aggressive with the outpost and the forward barracks. He was able to secure the and that ended up paying off with an extra shipment. So he could squeeze in 1k wood and add the Abus guns sooner.
Yeah, there was a moment where 1,000 wood arrived and we thought that Kaiserklein, oh, you've read the situation wrong and you needed, Jan combat or just to keep up militarily. And he sort of lost his forward base almost. But worked out in the end, was able to use that wood to get down some artillery foundries. And as you said, added the Abbas guns in sooner, which is really what paid off this game and ended up snowballing him the win there. But that was a pretty interesting game. Number 3. Next up will be the Thar Desert. And that one we can also expect to be quite a quick and bloody game. We've seen quite a few of those. Although Wicked Cossack managed to drag one out for 40 minutes, which was quite impressive. But up next will be Thar Desert. I'm just going to pop to the loo. I will be a moment, and then let's get into this. But I'll leave you in charge. I'll be 1 second.
It's no problem.
Yes.
Right. Thar Desert. I think we might see it's Kaiser's first pick, and I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for this map. And there's the Russia, and a be right back as well. And that's like Kaiser's go-to civ on a non-TP map. Alpha plays Russia as well, but I think he might be more keen to play India on this match or on this map, and especially versus Russia. But yeah, we're gonna see what he picks, and I'm gonna get some water while Kaiser is be right back.
All right, I'm back. What civs have they chosen? Oh, LordRaphael still on Ottoman. Are we waiting for him to counterpick? Or is this the civ he wants to play? Tavern says BRB water. Okay, that makes more sense as to where he's gone. But yes, Kaiserklein does pick first, and Russia, pretty good civ on Thar Desert. But we have seen LordRaphael play India before, but he did lose that matchup. It was Russia versus India. I think against actually Snow, aka König Erik. I wonder though if LordRaphael will pick India. Russia is also a civ LordRaphael knows very well. Perhaps we'll see the mirror, but it's not the best. It doesn't feel the best way to use your sort of counterpick, so to speak, taking a mirror. But, you know, if you're confident and it's a strong civ of yours, maybe you do.
I'm back, by the way. I was getting water.
Yeah, welcome back.
Thank you.
And looks like I've got some water here as well, actually. It's in a one of those Voss canisters. It's not really Voss water, it's tap water, but people can think that it's Voss, and, you know, I'll look really classy. But
We got
Anyway.
some sparkling water with lime
Ooh, ice cubes.
flavor.
Oh, I
I
think
should
that.
get those, but yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, you need a wedge of lime and some ice cubes. What else? A straw, maybe an umbrella. That's what you need.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, but it looks like we have got our matchup, and I was kind of expecting this. I thought that LordRaphael would either mirror because Russia is a very strong civ of his, or perhaps he would go India, which is what he's done. So
Yeah, I actually said exactly that before when you were away. So we both have a good idea of these players and what they like to pick,
yep.
and we were correct.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is game number 4 in a best of 9 series between Kaiserklein and LordRaphael. This is a show match. It's not a tournament or a grand final, although when you have these two players playing, you might expect it to be one. But it will be Kaiserklein playing as the Russians in the north of the map. 200 wood to start with, as well as 50 wood in crates. That's quite nice. That's quite nice. And the Explorer going to go right there. I wonder if we'll see a market. So often don't see that from Russia, but could well be the case today with these crate stats.
Yeah, especially if he has the 30 coin in line of sight. And he does. So yeah, that does smell like a market, and he will go for it.
Yeah, that's really, really nice. But India, down in the south of the map, in the color red, we do have LordRaphael. Has a 55 coin treasure nearby, but not the most ideal treasure for your elephants to grab. And
But India doesn't really mind the wood start. They're perfectly fine with that. It's gonna help speed up the age up a bit.
And finds 65 coin treasure there with one of his elephants, and 20 coin treasure there. Interesting that he's splitting his monks up. Often we see them stay together just for the combined killing power that they have. And these monks, these units, not so strong on their own, but are going to cover more ground this way. And does find himself the 85 wood treasure.
Oh wow, he does find both wood treasures on the both sides.
There's another one?
There's always 2 large wood treasures on this map. So I think he split I think he split the elephants to one side each, so that he could contest both wood treasures if Kaiser were to start on either of them on one side. So he would be able to contest both. But now he's going to be able to start at least one of them.
Yeah,
and Kaiser is very far to contest.
Yeah, and I think Kaiser saw... Well, Kaiser went for that 60 food treasure, and I think LordRaphael knows that he scouted that earlier, so he knows exactly where Kaiserklein's Explorer is, and he knows this is perfectly safe to grab. Yeah. So yeah, gonna pick up this 90 wood, and may well get himself the 85 as well. That's exceptional.
Yeah. And that's why it can be a bit awkward to be Russia on a large map like Thar Desert. It takes quite a while to scout map.
Yeah, with just the one Explorer. Yeah.
Especially if you want to like cover the corners or the dark areas behind your base. You might have like mines and some hidden hunts and stuff. It takes a lot of time.
But he does get himself the 55 coin there, which is good for him. India wasn't able to get it, and that's a really nice treasure just to be able to crack shot. But we see India just waiting here, wants to keep line of sight on the treasure, and perhaps more importantly, we can see them healing each other up. That is what India does. And now the stuns are recharged. Looks like he's ready to go in there. And Kaiser just does not have line of sight of that at all. India going to get both those wood treasures. But yeah, both players now are getting ready to click up to the next stage. LordRaphael, he's got his 800 food. Let's see where he places his Agra Fort. Just slightly behind his base, but well within... basically next to that town center.
Yeah, I really like that position. It covers like, I mean, it's technically behind your town center, but it still makes perfectly sense.
Especially against an aggressive civ like Russia.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's going to need that market going out on the front, which its cost to HP ratio is quite high. Can soak some damage perhaps and start building that sort of ring around his base. But the hunts... not looking very good for LordRaphael. He's not got any in his base at the moment. There is one nearby. He's going to start bringing that in now.
He really needs to herd this one.
Yeah, he's got a pay attention to that and get it in quickly before his opponent's blockhouse goes up. And we can see 2 forward villagers from Kaiser now coming forward. And I'm not sure where they're headed, but this looks like a nice spot. But actually, it's going to dump it down, not even mid-map. This seems like a fairly far back, not aggressive at all blockhouse placement.
Yeah, that's a bit surprising. I feel like maybe he realized that he was a bit late, that if he went further, he wouldn't have the blockhouse up in time.
I
But
see.
maybe ideally he would have it where his explorer is right now.
Yeah.
Right, securing those 2 extra hunts.
Those 2 hunts, but is going to get it up in time for when he hits the colonial age, which is the important thing, so that he can start queuing units and all that good stuff.
Yeah, and I'm a bit curious to see what Raphael will go for, what kind of build order, because we've seen him previously in this matchup go very greedy with the wood trickle, the large wood trickle as first colonial card, and it paid off in some games. But in some other games it didn't.
Yeah.
And he ended up taking a lot of damage from early pressure. So I wonder if he's gonna stick to the wood trickle or maybe go for something speedier, like the 600 wood first or something.
I wonder too, but I think he's in a really good spot to go for foreign logging, the big wood trickle, because he got those 2 insane Age 1 wood treasures, and he scouted this blockhouse. It's not particularly far forward, which is going to give him a bit of extra time, that kind of thing. I think he's got a bit of wiggle room to be greedy, but Kaiser still on point, the snare coming in with his explorer there, and catches them so that the Cossacks can take down these 2 elephants nice and quickly. 2 sepoy plus 4 that he's trained do deflect the Cossack raids, though, and only 1 elephant will go down today.
Yeah.
But 5 Cossacks out first. Let's see what Kaiserklein can get done. He really needs to do some raiding. Takes a volley there, and the Explorer does too.
To bait a little bit. See if he can get some shots off with the Strelets.
Yeah. Not a single volley just yet. Yes, he does get 1 volley with his... But 4 Sowars popping out of the aggro fort there. And Sowar really strong against Strelets, but he does have 5 Cossacks to deflect that. And is going to be able to mosey on out of there. I think Kaiser now going to not feel comfortable until his next batch of Strelets have arrived, which are now marching across the map. But the Sowar trying to get straight onto the Strelets before reinforcements have arrived. Plus he's got his sentries here as well, which are really good against the Cossacks. And that was a nice defense from India, starting with 4 Sowar, not foreign logging though.
That's a really nice counter from Rafa, anticipating the Russia to go for Strelets, which is quite a standard to start with. So,
and now
that's a really nice start for Rafa.
These 2 Sowars can just go to town, and those sentries there are still quite high HP as well. But nearly has killed off these Sowar, but not before just eliminating the Russian army. Really, really nice from LordRaphael. He didn't send foreign logging, though, so he has had to sort of send a military shipment, which isn't ideal, but I think it's more than paid off, and he's achieved exactly what he needed to if you're going to start with that.
This is a really good start for India, because he hasn't even been idled like anything yet. Way with some of
and
the
Gurkha
architects as well.
Oh my god, this is so good for India.
Oh wow.
This is insane.
I really like that he added some Gurkhas this soon, because with the 4 Sowars, he probably anticipated that Kaiser would possibly add some musketeers, and out to snipe the musketeers.
That was really, really nice to see. I think Kaiser is not in a good way at the moment. But we shall see. 700 wood comes down from him, and that's going to be used to pop down 2 houses just there. And he's got in his steel traps. I wonder if we'll see placer mines as well. Perhaps in a second blockhouse coming out. But this is really nice for India. He's in a good way to send those sort of strong upgrades. We can see a consulate now coming down. He'll get his 4 villages. Foreign logging will soon come behind that as well. And we'll see India really take off in terms of economy. And of course, they have access to all of those really strong units. And he's held early on and will be in a good spot going forward to get them. Diplomatic intrigue coming in now. And that is...
these trades have been really good for India, but he does have to push out relatively soon for hunts, which is gonna give Kaiser a window to.
Yeah, but he has got a lot of Strelets here. He's trained lots and lots of Strelets. He's shipped 13 Strelets, and those are now coming in trying to do damage versus the Gurkha. But Gurkha just, so much range compared to a Strelet. They make it really difficult to do damage. And these two elephants with the stomp there and the high HP and the area damage are really good against
so much
Strelets.
Damage versus Strelets.
And Kaiser gonna have to get out of there. Yeah, really, really nice from LordRaphael. And still okay. Just sitting
Still
here.
okay. He trained a few Sams just to be safe in case Kaiser had a stable somewhere. He doesn't actually have one, but to go for like Strelet Cossack, then the Gurkha could be in danger.
Yeah, just the two
So a
block
few
houses.
Sams just to be safe. But I think now that Rafa seen the composition from Kaiser, he's adding. We see him adding Sours instead to deal with the large Strelet mass.
Yep, creating the correct unit. But Kaiser, he's not stupid. He's got some musketeers here as well to sort of handle that. But he needs to do some damage soon, and I wonder if he can. Otherwise, India is going to be absolutely fine this game, and now has that Ottoman consulate down, and is going to be starting really, really safe. Not with the villagers, but those gardeners. Going to spend the export on those extra cav, which is going to be really nice against these big mass of Strelets. And looks like those gardeners going to head on out over to this hunt over here, and now foreign logging coming in just behind, but Kaiserklein's army, it's sort of over to the left. It's nowhere near these villages, but Kaiser does spot that immediately and splitting the villagers off. That's really nice to see. This villager, the Hussars decided to go for, but the two do split off. He knows he's going to get at least one kill, so actually really well handled from Kaiser there, LordRaphael.
Yeah, that's good. And we see him adding a stable of his own from the 600 wood, so he can add some Cossacks to help catch these raids from Raphael.
Yep. But now, LordRaphael with foreign logging in and a villager for free with every shipment is starting to pull ahead in terms of economy. And up against Gurkha, which have so much range, none of the Russian units have that kind of range and can keep up. Looks like those Sawa now coming in to get on top of the Strelets. The muskets not too far behind, but the Sawa have found a target nice and quickly. Strelets getting back there to try and blend in with the muskets and make it harder for the Soa. Soa now are going to go down to the muskets here, but there are a lot of Gurkha on the front doing damage to these muskets,
Yeah,
and those two elephants.
Stomp at the musketeers as well.
Yeah, stomp, HP, area damage, performing really, really well here. And Kaiser, again, not able to do really too much damage at all.
I feel like Kaiser really had to deny this this forward resources from Raphael. It looks like he might not be able to.
Yeah, looks like he's secured himself 3 elephants with 1,000 food each. And indeed this copper mine on the front there as well, which he's gobbled half up of already. But he's now pushed out, and he's got the resources he needs to continue staying in this game. And Kaiser really needs to find a way to do some damage, to do something lasting and meaningful. But this game so far hasn't been able to do that. LordRaphael's reactions and responses to everything have been absolutely brilliant in this game.
It's been good. Kaiser, he's definitely still in it. He's going to have a strong army soon with Boyars coming in next. But looks like maybe he's intending to... No, he doesn't want to fight already.
10 Tiger Claws coming in. Yeah.
The 10 Tiger Claws is actually quite... it looks like he's maybe going to raid with them, which could be actually a good option.
See what they can do. He has found some vills with his Zambarex, but does kill a villager there. They are going to be met by muskets, and now are going to head on out. But Boyars is now in, and he's got a reasonable Strelet and Cossack mass.
Yeah. Boyars is in, but Rafa has a shipment of his own on the way, and it might be one of the camel upgrades.
Yeah.
would really help taking down the Cossacks quickly. So I think Rafa is in a really good spot.
Yeah,
He's
lots of
out of his forward
Here we
mine
go.
and hasn't scouted. Oh,
Cossacks coming forward to get into position, and
Yeah.
10 more Strelets are going to join the
go.
fight as well. But there's a lot of Zambaraks here, which are going to be really good against the Cossacks there. Although lots of Strelets and Muskets. 5 more Cossacks join the fight as well as 10 Musketeers. This is a really big fight for Kaiser. It needs to go well, otherwise his prospects will not look good going forward. Let's switch on over to military units. He has 6 Cossacks remaining, and I'm not sure that's enough to handle the
but here we
Gurkha.
go. The camel attack is in as well. So the few Cossacks that Kaiser has are gonna drop really quick now.
And now looking to get out of here. And once again, LordRaphael still perfectly fine, still gathering resources, still doing India things. Still has lots of map and resources here. And now it looks like LordRaphael is the one poking in with his skirmishers. Some vills on that gold mine could be poked at, but sort of looking for the food perhaps.
Kaiser is in. It's awkward for Russia at this point because they consume the hunts much faster than India does.
Yeah.
So Kaiser kind of has like 1 hunt remaining, and then he's gonna have to migrate his vills quite far across the map, so to say.
4 Cossacks arrive. He's got 1 Cossack in queue, throwing down a house frantically, and I thought that was to finish off his batch. 3 Cossacks now in queue. In total,
But Rafa pushing the right
villagers.
side at the villagers, so we might see a final fight.
Yeah, I think this is
coming
going to be the
down.
last one of the game. Trying to build a gate there just to disrupt something. That's a blue gate.
Trying to trap the Gurkhas so he can get on top with the Cossacks. And they're actually getting stuck at the mine.
Yeah, and the Cossacks are in a good spot there on top of them. And he's closed the gap.
Really This is really good positioning from Kaiser. He might even be able to get his musketeers in melee.
Yeah, I think he's got
with
this fight.
the,
He's closed the gap, right? The advantage of the Gurkha is the range, and it's all gone now.
Oh, wow.
And even chucking in his villagers here.
Kaiser. Yeah,
What an exceptional...
sacking some vills, but he's gonna crush the fight.
Yeah. And Red just chucking his vills in here, but now it just feels like suicide almost. These vills surely can't achieve anything.
It's actually just swing the entire game, and now it's super Kaiser favored. It's only a few sours coming in, but Kaiser still has enough musketeers to deal with the sours. And then the villagers from Rafa are gonna be super exposed.
Yeah, and LordRaphael resigns. It came down to just this fight out in the middle. What went wrong?
I really didn't see that coming, to be honest. It looks super good for Rafa. He was poking at the vills with Kaiser quite far from the place.
Jesus.
But yeah, that positioning just was super good for Kaiser. So secure some really good trades.
Bait him into the corner where his villagers are, and there's just no escape route for LordRaphael. He was just forced into taking the fight, where, you know, the advantage of the Gurkha is that he can just keep kiting back. And the trap, that was incredible. Kaiser picks up the win there off the, and I feel like LordRaphael played that game really, really well.
He played really well and had a good start, with double wood treasures in H1. It's super hard for Russia, but I feel like he was maybe a bit too eager to try and poke at Kaiser while having an advantage.
Yeah.
And if he had just sat back and wait for Kaiser to run out of food while gathering himself, he would have been in an okay spot. Kaiser able to trap the army near the mine and coming out on top.
Yeah. And it just goes to show, like, Age 3 is balanced on a knife edge, because you make one mistake like that and the game is just over when you were, like, in a leading position. 2-2 instead of 4-0. And I think Kaiser, it started off with a bit of classic Kaiser salt. Perhaps he did a few too many tequila slammers, which, of course, have a lot of salt. No, I don't know what I'm talking about. But it's worked out. It's 2-2. Jeez.
It's been really good games so far. It's been really close, all of them, actually.
The next map will be Fertile Crescent? Deccan. It will be Deccan.
Yeah. But Rafa did a really nice counter build to what Kaiser was doing with the early 4 sours. He was able to buy so much time cleaning up like 1 or 2 batches of Strelets from Kaiser. So yeah, was a really good start for Rafa.
Hot damn. Can we see the points in the chat? I wanna know the outcome of the betting.
Do we have a betting champion already?
I think someone is emerged so far as a clear leader. I'm not sure. Vividly Plain on 1,300 points. I am not sure.
That guy always appears on top of the betting.
Yeah, he's very good at the betting, actually. One of the moderators in Samurai Revolution's Discord, and clearly knows his stuff when it comes to AoE3. But actually, there are 3 people on identical first, and 4th and 5th place. In fact, 4 people in first place with the same points, and then 5th is 1,200 or 1,267, so only like 100 points behind. So this is still all to play for in terms of betting. We've got 5 people very, very close on points, and I'm interested to see how that shapes out. I need to remember to check the betting when the games, when the bets have closed. I think that's always something interesting to mention. But
I need a second. My dog is knocking at my door, or
okay.
trying to get inside. So
Frankazy. Tabin has a dog? I thought cats were scared of dogs, but maybe Tabin is...
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome. I was just saying that I'm pretty sure you're a cat. Tabby, Tabin, your image on your... I didn't realize that, a cat would be... I thought you'd be scared of dogs.
Yeah, but I had everyone fooled.
You're actually a person.
Yes.
Says Kaiser. France coming out. He does have to pick first. And I always like France as a pick on Deccan. It always seems really safe. The native scout is brilliant when all those yaks are up for grabs. And as we well know, this civ is always something that you can pick quite comfortably going first, as it's hard to counter them with any specific civ.
Yeah. I wonder what... Kaiser, he could also have gone for Germans, right? But maybe saving them for later.
Yeah, I think... Yeah, he does have Germany. He played that in game 1, I believe, versus Dutch, but didn't win. So certainly still has that up for grabs for sure.
Oh, he played France in the first game.
Oh, right,
so he hasn't played Germany.
Pardon me, that was my mistake. But regardless, I think France is kind of a safer pick here, just because, the native scout can contest some yaks.
France kind of doesn't really have a super bad matchup. Like some super great matchup either. Rafa maybe thinking of playing Brits. Like he'll stay as India.
Okay,
that does make sense on Deccan.
Yeah, that's a fair enough map to use it on. If you win on Thar Desert with it, you then don't have it for Deccan, but it's also very good on Deccan, so a fine choice.
Yeah.
And I just want to point out, the betting very close at the moment, but those guys could lose a lot of points if they bet on the wrong outcome, so keep betting. And up for grabs today, not a huge prize, but there will be a subscription. If you win, you earn a subscription to the channel, and you can spam whatever it is you like in the chat. But also, if you already have a subscription, you can donate it to whoever you feel like. So that is what's up for grabs, I suppose, a small prize. But ladies and gentlemen, we're clicking into game number 5 in a best of 9 series between Kaiserklein and LordRaphael. It is 2-2, a very even series. LordRaphael picked up 2 games in a row, but then Kaiser wins 2 afterwards. So
and
no
this
one...
is kind of to be expected between these players as well. A very even series.
Yeah, 2 very, very strong players. But let's see how this goes. Spawning on the right-hand side of the map in the color blue, we do have Kaiserklein playing as the French. They're going to crack shot 40 wood, 50 wood even immediately And we'll come back for that later. Immediately going to get his scouts into the map to find the yaks, and the middle is actually here. That's a really nice middle. It's actually kind of closed, especially with that gold mine just sort of sitting there. But need to get onto the map. Let's find those yaks. The scout is going to do that. But India with the 2 scouts, that's really nice. I think he's going to pick these 2 up. And he misses these 2 here. These still up to grabs. It looked like he was on trajectory for that. But India are actually going to put down a trading post.
That's kind of a debate. Should you go for finding all the yaks, or should you go for a trading post?
He managed to steal one here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I guess it's a debate because the yaks give you XP, which is more or less a trading post. And if you build a TP, you're not going to find as many yaks, perhaps. In this case, these 2 still going to go to him, so I don't think he's missed out on any. And he's now going to get a pass of XP.
Yeah, so I think the trading post made perfect sense, or to build it early in this case.
Yeah, so it worked out quite nicely there. But overall, LordRaphael does get 5 yaks to be expected. He has more explorers, and that's going to be nice. Kaiserklein has 3, but he's going to harass that elephant all the way home with that scout.
Yeah. The villager from Rafa in typical India fashion on Deccan.
Yeah. God, we're 1 minute 30 and we're clicking up already. Hot damn. This is real fast.
And near the notorious wood treasure. I'm getting flashbacks from my
God.
series.
Yeah.
It's the exact same one with the thuggies and the tigers.
Two
so
delinquent.
Let's see if he can not repeat my mistake. Pick it up himself as soon as possible, because you should be able to take it with some sepoys and stunning the thuggies, I suppose.
Yeah. And then grab yourself 300 wood. But we saw a lot of the siege damage when you were playing. We'll see how that pans out. And Mother Nature can always be really interesting next to agroforts, so to speak. Yeah. But both players now going up to the next stage, and a good ally indeed. Both having sent very normal shipments here. Actually, Kaiserklein skipped his house. Did you realize that? He's gone with the 12-10, but he did still get a market.
I think, it makes sense. I think you can do it idle-less. Train 9 villagers and then ship 3 quite early with the TP. So idle anything.
And you can still, basically click up just as your last villager is being made without the need to actually build a house. And that's really nice. It means you can quite easily get hunting dogs in and stuff like that. You don't have to waste time building a manor house. A house. But now it's now coming in. You do need it at some point, and going to make use of this choke is just going to...
That's really good. 10 wood, maybe, to... Oh, it's actually just... He just needs to wall one side of the mine. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it. That mine, I'm not sure if that's actually passable or not. But it's certainly going to make that choke even smaller.
Easily test it. I think he's testing it right now. Yeah. He's using the CDV to test if it can go around.
Which it can by the looks of it.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll put a pillar there. We'll see. But both players now up to the colonial age here. And I wonder what that signals. Obviously nothing forward from Kaiserklein. Perhaps against the agrofort, that's not really what you'd want to do. Is going to be a defensive barracks. And with that wall as well, looks like Kaiser looking to be a bit more passive today. And we'll have to handle the incoming pressure from LordRaphael. He's now getting his steel traps in. And we'll see what his first shipment is very shortly. But India... now up with the agrofort, starting to get a couple of hunting upgrades in, and has got his 2 sepoy there. Let's take a look at units in queue, and is training sepoy at his agrofort there. And has got his monks in position, so it seems like he's getting ready to take that 300 wood treasure, like you were saying. And I wonder if he'll do that when the first 5 sepoy pop.
It does seem like a little bit of a greedier plan from Raphael with the tier 2 food upgrade already and the big trickle as first card.
And Kaiserklein is taking damage from that agrofort. But it looks like Sepoy have come out just in time. I think Kaiser maybe wanted to walk past the treasure and aggro the Guardians, but no opportunity to do that without losing his Explorer.
That would be very ambitious. I think he's trying to get information if there's like a consulate or something going up near the Agra.
Yeah.
That could imply any type of timing push or something from Rafa.
And came in to steal the treasure there. But he did delay some time with the sepoy firing, and now the stun has wore off. Although the delinquent, the thuggy seems a bit confused and is just going to accept that his inevitable death will occur. But 300 wood going to LordRaphael. That's a really nice start, using his Agrafort and the stuns there to pick that up. And now, having gotten the treasure, will push out. But that scout will be revealed by the elephants, and LordRaphael sees that. But Kaiserklein is going to be able to escape before the sepoy can fire the executing volley. And that scout will come back another day to scout, I suppose. But here comes LordRaphael.
It will survive, but it seems like Rafa is just going for the trading post instead of pushing into the base.
Yeah, but that's a big army. We see quite a few musketeers and a few crossbows as well that he trained off the back of the 700 wood shipment. And that's going to come out to deflect the sepoy away from this trading post. Has plenty of time to get over there and defend. And 8 crossbows coming out as well. This looks like a timing then from Kaiserklein. Quite an early timing from him. He's no need to send 8 crossbows. He's not under any kind of threat. But looks like he wants to be the threat, so to speak. And he's going to pick this up. Explorer Snare on those sepoys. Gotten really close to them and is able to take out quite a few, send a few volleys in. Looking good.
Yeah. It looks like, it's a little bit laggy, it seems. It's like there was some spike or something.
Yeah. Maybe we can pause.
Maybe we should pause and try some screen share, or what do you think?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that to be safe.
All right, let's set up the screen share arena. I think this gives you game sounds, which I'm not sure. Actually, I think I will stop that. I'm going to share the screen. I'll give you 15 frames per second because then things are less blurry. But I can put it on 30. Would you prefer 30?
I think you should be fine with 15.
Okay, because I think that actually makes things like you can read the numbers better. And that's obviously helpful.
Are you ready?
Okay, so you can resign and exit the game. So, gonna minimize lag here. Of course, Kaiser from France, Raphael from Germany. I'm in the UK, and Tabben up in Scandinaviona, Sweden.
Yeah.
So all over Europe today, which could contribute to the lag. But just to be safe, we will screen share. But Kaiserklein now coming out. This is a nice timing from him. 8 crossbows with this musket.
Actually, Raphael was aging behind this small push. It looks like he just wanted to take out the trading post and go back. But he's actually aging behind this.
Yeah, so gonna sacrifice his Agrafort whilst he's aging, which will buy him time to get up. And these units are distracted doing this for the time being. But the Gurkha do appear. And they do get a volley up, but the crossbows are able to take out a few. I think about 1 Gurkha, maybe 2 Gurkha go down in terms of HP. Does get them out. That's nice before he ages up. And doesn't have a military building back at home, though, which is a little bit awkward. French consulate, though. That's interesting.
He was able to age without sending 600 coin, thanks to going for crates from the French consulate.
He's got the coin one there, which gives you, I think, 500 coin as a shipment. So that's really nice for him. But these units of red are a bit awkwardly placed. The wonder, it's not quite up yet, and it's going to take a while now. And these units are just going to be killed. Big unit.
This is a really good timing from Kaiser. Rafa will have a Mahout Lancer popping anytime soon, but it's not going to be very impactful versus the players.
A little bit of lag still, perhaps. Did you fully leave the game?
Definitely, I exited the game.
Okay. Maybe it's on our end then, or one of the players. But is now up to the next stage with the Shamanar Gates. Markout does pop out, but it is surrounded by musks, and it's not going to achieve really anything at all. And Kaiser just going to go back to sieging that TC. There's no spawn point here for India at all, so shipments, even something like Yurumi, even if he has it, it's not going to arrive. This TC going to just take down the town center. Really, did I say the TC is going to take down the town center? We know what I mean. And LordRaphael is going to resign there, and Kaiser pulls ahead 3-2.
That was a quick game, maybe the most one-sided game so far.
Yeah.
Rafa going a little bit too greedy, not anticipating the colonial push from Kaiser. He was probably banking on Kaiser aging up himself and not going for a timing on the Agra and then the base.
Yeah. What can you say? Just a big timing from Kaiser. Caught Raphael just as he was aging up. And loses his TC, loses his Agra fort, has no military building. All the vills are inside, all 22 of them. No Yurumi or any other shipment coming. And there's 500 wood on the floor from the French consulate, I presume. And that's not going to get gathered either. Just Kaiserklein, a very convincing victory off the back of a classic Kaiser timing, so to speak. But yeah, Kaiserklein now 3 points up to 2. A rocky start for him, but he's catching up. Perhaps Tabin, the hangover is reducing now, and he's returning to normal bodily behavior.
Yeah, sometimes we see India going up with the Taj Mahal, giving the ceasefire ability, and that can help a lot for buying that extra time to get out that first H3 shipment. So it maybe could have done a difference here.
And I'm pretty sure Fertile Crescent will be the next map. It will be High Plains. And then Fertile Crescent.
Okay.
Rip Elephant, says Adnor. GG. Yeah, that was the least close game so far.
Definitely.
And maybe Kaiser's just set himself up for some bragging rights here. He's saying, oh, I'm hungover, it wasn't a great series, but is now taking the lead here. Let's see if he can. If he wins this game, he'll put himself on match point, and he'll break a lead, or break away with a lead, I should say. He'll be 2 points up. But if LordRaphael can win here, the score will be 3-3, and it will continue to be very, very even indeed. The next map is High Plains, and Germany coming out from both players. I think Germany, a very strong civ for both players. Indeed, Kaiserklein's strongest civ.
I feel like the only other pick that would have made sense would be Sioux, that both of them plays. But yeah, we're gonna see the German mirror.
But, hold on, show me the civ screen. Raphael in game 2.
But he didn't win with the Germans.
He did. He did win with Germans.
Oh, he did.
He beat the Ottoman.
He did. He's trying to sneak in the civ, the civ repeat.
Yeah, good spot there from the from Ham in the office.
That was tricky by Rafa.
That was a robo spot. Want to make sure that the person gets credit. But Ottoman's still a fine choice on this map.
So now we're seeing the reverse of this matchup. They're switching sides.
But I think Kaiser's connection, we can see here it's green-yellow, whereas we're both green. So clearly it's Kaiser, but almost all of the time it's green, right? Like it's not like it's terrible lag.
it seemed like this was fine for the start of the series, but maybe just a little bit in last game.
The Parisian internet at what time is it in France? I think it's 9 o'clock, maybe 10 o'clock.
Yeah,
It's prime time for downloads. People are watching.
exactly.
People are watching all sorts of things, television shows. I'm currently watching Chernobyl. That's actually really, really interesting. It's really good, actually.
What does that even mean? Chernobyl.
Chernobyl is the Russian city where the nuclear disaster happened at the power plant.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've seen that show. I saw it like this weekend, the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, I've seen the first 3. It's really, really good, actually. I was
It's really
quite
good.
surprised.
Yeah.
I thought it wouldn't be. I thought it would just be like a. No, it's good. It's good. But ladies and gentlemen, spawning on the top of the map in the color blue, we do have Kaiserklein playing as the Germany. He has just pulled ahead in the series very slightly, and if he can keep that up, he's won 3 games in a row now. He will put himself on match point. So an important match for him here.
Indeed.
But
By the way, you
LordRaphael,
had such a British way of saying Chernobyl, so I didn't register.
oh right, yeah.
you were
What did I
saying.
say? Chernobyl.
Chernobyl.
Chernobyl. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. I deserve that. But
It does seem like it's still laggy. The screen share is stuttering a bit. Maybe I'm seeing the in-game lag from players, but it does seem like it's a little bit laggy still.
yeah. But the show must go on. Hopefully that will stabilize for
But
you.
you're streaming from the studio right now, so screen sharing shouldn't be any problem, right?
Yeah. Well, there's a different PC that streams. The one I'm on has doesn't actually. Like, there's a capture card which handles all of the basically like the 2 PCs. The PCs are divorced from each other. One streams and one plays the game. So such is the way of things. That's sort of how that works. But
Okay.
yeah, we'll see how the leg goes. Hopefully it will clear up. But hopefully it's not too bad. It was mostly green for Kaiser, very, very occasionally green-yellow. But LordRaphael, his start looks nice. He grabs himself the bottom TP. He's going to get that pass just now, and is going to send that shipment 3 villagers on the way. On the way to the TP, he crack-shotted a Guardian here and picked himself up 95 wood, or is now going to. Meanwhile, Kaiserklein finds himself 70 XP, and he is not going to be able to get a trading post. It was not a sufficient start, but did, by the looks of it, with 50 coin treasure, get a market, and indeed hunting dogs as well.
And that's a little bit of a tactical trading post from Rafa, because you don't get the first passage from the bottom one. Had he gone for one of the top ones, that gives you the first pass, then Kaiser could have been there with his explorer to snare Rafa's explorer, and which could be a problem later when you want to add more trading posts as Otto. So instead he chose to go for the bottom one, just to make sure he can survive with his explorer.
Yeah, and make sure, because Germany's got nothing better to do. They're not building a train post of their own. They might as well look for you, and takes the safe option.
Kaiser to take every shot he can at the opponent explorer. He's very good at harassing in H1.
And being really, really annoying, which is exactly what you need to do. Doesn't find his opponent today, though. But Ottoman now going up to the next stage with the Quartermaster. Every villager switching over to wood there. Has gotten a mosque down as well off of the back of that 95 wood that he picked up. That's really nice for him. And is gathering nothing but wood, I presume, for a second trading post here. Explorer now looks like it is going to get into position to build perhaps the top one. And still not looking too good by the looks of it. That is a shame.
Should we try to pause the screen share for like 1 minute and see if it gets better?
I don't see why the screen share would do anything, to be entirely honest.
Okay, yeah. Just to be, if you're certain that it's fine, then it should be okay.
Yeah, I can't see a reason why it would. And our connection has got, an app. We've got more than enough upload to handle a stream. In fact, 2 streams, perhaps 3. Yeah, I don't think that's the case. But looks like LordRaphael has gotten 2 TPs. Kaiser's got his second one, and hopefully it will clear up. LordRaphael, well and truly up to the colonial age now. Barracks is coming down. LordRaphael, Kaiserklein, going up with the quartermaster. He does get his TP down. I wonder if he'll go for another. He's been gathering quite a lot of wood for it by the looks of it. Looks like he's going for 325 wood. Get a trading post and a steel traps. Is this? I thought this was 2 different players for a second. I thought this was a villager.
Would have been interesting, indeed.
Yeah. But barracks and stable going down, and this is kind of the reverse of... Well, it's the same matchup that we saw.
Yeah, it's similar build, and Kaiser scouting it's gonna help a lot to adapt. It can be quite hard to scout Ottomans at the time because they're up so quickly. And as Germany, you have to like build a trading post yourself in transition. Stagecoach coming in for Raphael. That's super early.
That is very, very early. He's still 2 unoccupied TPs, but maybe he wants to use the wood from the TPs just to finish off the stagecoach. It seems to be what he's got in mind, because he can't be shipping any more wood by the looks of it. Doesn't have time for that. 700 gold coming in from him. Going to use that to fund, I presume, Hussar production there.
Yeah. What's nice is you get about 100 wood for each pass. So already with like one, with the 2 passages he should be able to post.
Yep. Coming forward now, Kaiserklein starting with 8 crossbows. And similarly to the game we saw in Baja, California, training pikes as well. So, and Explorer now coming in, just to add a bit of extra damage, slow him down. Thought the pikes would get a volley there, but they want to get out of there. Don't want to take damage from Jans. 5 crossbows in queue, but they're going to take a while to get here. And 3 Doppelsodners as well. This is really lots of military shipments from Germany.
This is a strong push. Rafa did a good job at not losing any units. He pulled the Hussars with the Janissaries.
Yeah.
He's gonna need to get units out really soon. Minutemen, if he can call them as well.
Yeah, he's gotten 700 food on the... Minutemen have now just arrived, and there's lots of food on the floors to help him finish off his batches. 5 Jans do pop, and has a Hussar in queue at the stable as well. So if they pop soon, should be okay for this fight, especially with the Minutemen now here. Hussars do pop. I think 3 there. Now trying to get on top of the units, baiting the pikes and dops forward. But they are going to take some damage there, and the dops come to the side. Now pulling them home.
Yeah, but Minutemen, they do really well versus dops. So if he can focus them down quickly, to hold here.
Yeah.
But even more crossbows coming in.
And it looks like LordRaphael will keep his barracks and stable up just fine. Let's switch to units lost. And it looks like 3 Jans, 2 Hussars went down in exchange for 4 pikes, a crossbow, and 2 Uhlans. So I think seems... And forcing the Minutemen as well. This seems pretty okay for Kaiser. And he may well take down his barracks as well.
Yeah. Meanwhile, though, Rafa adding the 4th trading post. So if he can hold for a little bit longer... oh, it didn't finish. Or where is his Explorer?
It's here.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, he hasn't finished that yet, so missing out on some resource income.
Yeah.
And looks like, though, the pikes are going to be able to take down that stagecoach TP. Pikes now coming, Hussars coming forward. And only pulling off a few of the dops. That's really nice. Doesn't need too many to scare the cav away and can leave them sort of sieging, but does take down a dop, a volley of fire from the Jans. This is what he needs to do. Just keep bringing those Hussars in here, baiting the anti-cav forward, and then executing them with the Janissaries. Does take down the TP, though.
Kaiser doing a good job. He's not overcommitting under the barracks. He's poking a little bit while taking down a trading post. Looks like Rafa maybe going to try and take down Kaiser's trading post.
Yeah, and does do. And so that's okay for him now. He's sort of balanced it out, but still needs to finish that TP from earlier. So he's really only got 2 working for him here. 3 Hussars coming in from LordRaphael. God, this is...
We should probably pause the game and share. I can see it, but it's not super consistent with the frames. So I'm wondering if it's
the screen share.
Okay,
Okay, Kaiser going to do a speed test by the looks of it.
Yeah.
And see
Because
if that...
it's not buffering, but it doesn't really it isn't really consistent with the frames. So I feel like it could be worth testing real quick without the screen share.
Okay, we can do that. I will turn it off. And we'll see if that makes a difference. I'm pretty certain it won't, though. But we shall see. It's worth testing, I suppose, especially if the players are complaining it's not playable. We want to make sure that everything's fine. I'm surprised it's that bad, though. I mean, Kaiser was sort of green-yellow in the lobby. But I'd expect that to just be, pretty normal.
It's a bit weird, especially since it seemed fine during the early or the first games, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, Kaiser's saying that his download speed is not as good as usual, and that he thinks he should forfeit because it's not playable at the moment, and perhaps finish it later.
I think Kaiser is maybe away from his normal place, and that could potentially be causing some issues.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really worth forcing the players to just finish the series. He says he is at home. Yeah, I kind of agree. It's unfortunate. I would prefer to finish the series, obviously, but if they're saying it's unplayable, both of them, you can't really have them smash it out. It's just going to be pointless.
Yeah, I would rather have, we want to see good quality games that aren't decided by anything.
Okay.
Are you ready?
They're going to finish this particular match.
Okay. Do you run the screen share again?
Oh yeah, I should do that. Let's leave it off for a second and see if it makes a difference.
Sure.
Let's just give it 30 seconds or so and see what happens.
That should be enough.
Well... Seems okay now. We'll see what they say. It's no different. Okay, LordRaphael says no. Yeah, and it's just pausing. Okay, well, let me turn the screen share back on. I guess we'll finish this match and maybe finish up. We'll see. Let's show the Civ. Yeah, that's right. Turn this on real quick. Okay. You might have game sounds. Is that okay? I can turn it off if it's annoying.
No, I don't hear any game sound.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay, so this is unfortunate. I wonder what's going on then. Maybe it's maybe it really is just prime time in Paris where Kaiser's at. It seems to be... I feel like you and Kaiser always have awkward lag issues, right?
I don't know. We had some when we played, but recently it's been fine, I think.
Okay, well, we'll see how it goes. Looks like Kaiser now coming in. Lots of crossbows now. 31.
And even some Abus guns added for Rafa.
Yep. Got his foundry down. He's got a lot of different units now. Hussars as
And a
well.
lot of Hussars. I wonder if Kaiser has enough anti-cav to deal with the Hussar mass. Especially if Rafa can micro down the dots.
Yeah, pikes and dops starting to dwindle, but he's killed a lot of Hussar off.
Did, yeah, but now the anti-cav is starting to dwindle, and they're just melting so fast to Abus and Jans, and now it's only Hussars versus crossbow left.
Yeah. And a couple of Uhlans now coming out just in time to handle these Hussars, but not before more Hussars entered the fray, and the Jans getting up really, really close as well. Maybe that's what you do. You just throw everything into melee and just leave them to it. And GG coming out.
Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate that it couldn't really be, or it wasn't lag-free enough to play this game.
Yeah, that's no good. All right then. Well, the score is 3-3 on a cliffhanger. It's a best of 9, so 2 games to go, potentially 3 in total if it goes all the way. So this series not over, but will be put on ice. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 7 in a best of 9 series. If you're tuning in just now, you can think of this as a mini best of 3, but actually it's a continuation of last week. You guys on YouTube won't know. A whole week has passed since, obviously because of the lag, and we want to keep doing these on a Sunday. But let's get into this and continue from where we left off. I suppose it's exactly like a best of 3 if you're just tuning in now, except that there's sort of some civs that they can't play because they've already won with them. Anyway, I am joined by Tabin once again. Welcome, Mr. Tabin.
Thank you, Interaction. Tabin here, glad to be here.
I am going to use a new toy, Control-Shift-C, to turn on the console. It might not load until, obviously, the units start walking around. There it is. And we're going to go to lighting, and then we're going to change it to 60, because that's one of my favorite lightings. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I think I preferred the other one. Either way, it's this is what we're going with now, because I don't know what the number would be for the other one. Oh, and another fun toy. If we do RDist and then do 70, we can see... Oh, I need to click his TC and do it. Still getting used to this. Right. And then we go do it for the other player. RDist 70. There it is. Right, so player 1 has 23 huntables, and player 2 has 30 huntables within a 70 radius of their TC. And basically, you can use this kind of thing to see if the maps are fair or not. And, well, you think 23 and 30 are quite different numbers. So I don't know what numbers how big the radius should be. I think 1 radius is the same as 1 line of sight. I'm not sure, though, but we are now into this. And before I show off my favorite toy, which is the zoom, let's just double-check the hunts and stuff and be satisfied with that.
I had a quick look, and I think it looks fine.
Okay, so that's the thing, right? Like, my tool here would indicate that it's not fine, but maybe I just need to set the radius slightly bigger, and then it would be fine. I reckon if we do, like, radius 80, it would then be absolutely fine. So let's do that.
Yeah, because there doesn't seem to be a hunt missing. They're just slightly different located.
Yeah, they're just sort of slightly further away or something like that. Okay, so
yeah, exactly. I think the middle ones.
Yeah, and now it's fine. Look,
yeah,
I just changed the radius by 10 extra, and now they've both got pretty much the same hunts. There's a few different because obviously they've killed a couple of animals each from their starting hunts. And what else have we got here? Coins, 2 abstract mines, 2 abstract mines. There you go. So they both have 2 mines within the 80 radius.
But that's a really good tool because you can if you can be aware quickly if there's some deviation, and you can double check it really soon.
Boom! Look at that, guys. We are zoomed out. Oh, this is glorious. Tabin, you can't see it. Do you want me to show you how to do it so that you can experience this too?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so Control-Shift-C, and then a little black text box should pop up.
Yeah.
Type in camera zoom, and then it should like autofill, and you can press tab to autofill it, and then the number
Camera zoom.
Camera zoom, yeah. Let me know
Okay.
when you've got that, and then press tab to autofill it, camera zoom, and then press 80, press 80 in the brackets, and then press enter. But don't go any more than 80, because it might start lagging. But yeah, this is really fun. Anyway, these are all my new toys, which apparently have been in the game since 2016, because that's when Azemp released the UI, and it hasn't changed since then. I think there is a new one in the making. At least Azemp has been saying that for a very long time. And if we want to go back to normal camera zoom, we will. But for the time being, I think we'll just exist in this zoomed out mode because it's a lot of fun. Tabin, have you figured it out? Are you now on really zoomed out?
No, I'm not. I didn't want to mess it up, so I'll leave it for... I'll rewatch the stream later and see how it looks.
You don't want to ruin it. But you can go even further out than this, but it causes like a lot of lag, and we don't really want that, obviously.
Exactly.
So... yeah, I think the max is 300, and it really is quite far away. But yes, these are the new toys. We've basically skipped the entire Age 1 because I was so excited to show you guys everything. Let's just briefly recap it here. And looks like market just now going down for both players. And I think they got the TPs during transition. Oh, no, at the start of the game. Yes, so it was a 200 wood start. They went for a TP. And by the looks of it, the players are LordRaphael playing as the Sioux. He got 65 coin and also 80 coin, so 2 really nice treasures there, and Kaiser only getting 2 really small ones, so Sioux getting the stronger Age 1, and that's sort of to be expected, I suppose, when the Sioux are playing. But yes, we skipped all of Age 1, but now we can officially start the cast, and that's fine, because the Colonial Age is just starting, and I'm not really sure if I want to stay this zoomed out. It seems like it might be a bit too far, but we'll leave it on. It's quite easy to change back. You just open the menu and press OK, and you go back to normal. You can there's another way to do it without having to open the menu. But anyway, I should stop being so excited about these silly things and just get back into the actual cast. So
yeah.
Yes,
I'm wondering who was counterpicking for this game.
I don't know, but the game started now, so whoever it was just lost their advantage, I suppose, unless they did take it into account and we just didn't. But I guess it's LordRaphael. He won the previous game in theory. Again, when on High Plains. So it must be LordRaphael who got to.
So he was picking first.
Yeah, he was picking first, and then Kaiser would have picked second.
Okay, that's interesting because normally I think some people would say that this matchup is a bit Sioux favored.
Yeah.
But I guess Kaiser would rather pick his main civilization, especially this late in the series.
Yeah. This is his main civilization. This is something he's strong with. I am going to use the zoom feature for the time being, just because it's new and I want to, show it off. But, yeah, being this zoomed out all the time is probably not ideal. Looks like 5 population cap going to LordRaphael. That's not a great treasure as the Sioux when you have 200 pop. And that's not going to be effective, but 205 pop now. Perhaps that will be...
Yeah, at least you denied the 5 population for your enemy.
That is true.
Which is actually a good thing versus Germany, because the Uhlans being 2 population, they take up quite a lot of population.
Yeah. But let's see what Kaiserklein's up to then. 3 villages, really strong German shipment, of course, and tried going forward with those 2 Uhlans. He managed to kill the opponent's war chief with them, which is pretty nice for him, and now sort of coming back, doesn't want to keep them too far forward. There are bow riders on the board, and those would easily catch stray Uhlans. Followed up by 700 coin, and he's going to use that coin to get up to the next stage, which he has now done. He's dropped down the politician. He's going up with the exiled prince, the fast age politician, and now is going to put down a stable during transition here. So he's got 700 wood. Well, he could send it, I mean, but he's not. He's got that shipment. Nice backherds. Good old fashioned.
I wonder if you should even type that in the chat, because that's free information for the Sioux player.
Yeah, he's gonna know. Well, in theory, that he could be more aggressive with his raiding, or it's probably more worthwhile to raid, that kind of thing.
And he's actually heading over to the hunt just now. Might
like
pick up a villager.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, how can Kaiser really stop it? That villa's going to go down. The Uhlans, they can't really do anything about that. Yeah, this is quite far, isn't it? Let's just go back to normal. There we go. Normal AoE3 zoom. God, everything looks so close now. LordRaphael, on the other hand, he's also doing something quite similar by the looks of it, starting with 5 villagers, very, very similar to what Germany did there. 700 coin to age up. And he's also going up, but a little bit later, going up with the messenger, so the same politician there. But he has decided to send 700 wood, so he's going to use that to put down, by the looks of it, TPs, a second trading post, and he's gotten the stagecoach upgrade from it as well. Of course, as the Sioux, you don't need to build houses, so you can get a lot more done with your wood shipments.
Yeah, his build is actually a bit greedier than Kaiserklein's, who instead chose to age up without a military building and just go straight to fortress. And now he's sending 3 war wagons first to apply some pressure on the Sioux base.
Yep, now coming in with war wagons. Trained 5 from his stable, or 4 by the looks of it, and shipped 3. And he's going to come forward there. Going to pick up the Sioux War Chief again, which is pretty nice for him. And now pushing into his opponent's base. He's going to kill a villager there. LordRaphael's got a really nice eco here because of the stagecoach, but he's, a shipment behind now compared to Kaiserklein. Let's see what he does. He's going to get Elite Bow Rider in now. Hello?
Hello?
Just making sure your Discord was working.
Yes.
It's
so
all
I
good.
wonder, Kaiser skipped the 700 wood, so I guess we'll see maybe 1000 wood coming out next, or he's sending another military shipment if he maybe wants to contest the stagecoach that Raphael has. So yeah, it is 8 skirmishers coming out instead of a wood shipment. So he's keeping a few villagers on wood to get the wood he needs for houses.
Yeah. 5 vills on wood, which just means like fewer resources. But with Gangsaw, I guess it's not too bad. Fewer resources for units. But you do stay a shipment up, which is really, really nice. But Kaiser, I think he's okay. Just killed that TP. Now really starting to mess up. 8 skirms has arrived, and now he's got that 3-unit composition going. And looks like he's just going to get back for the time being.
He's still waiting for the veteran upgrade for Uhlans, though. So I don't think he'll be looking to take a fight before he has veterancy researched.
Yeah, doesn't have that in just yet. But let's switch on over to military units tab and see what LordRaphael's got. 18 Wakina and 10 Bow Rider is pretty nice.
It's pretty nice. He took a volley at a war wagon, and he didn't really have enough Wakinas to one-shot a war wagon, but I think he might have that now, which makes quite a difference, actually.
Yeah, I guess like when focusing them down, at least you can like kill it and then move on to the next one, and then you don't have to like awkwardly split your unit fire so that only 3 or 4 skirms are killing a low HP war wagon or something. Looks like though he's going to rebuild his TP here, and Kaiser's on the other side of the map. He can't really stop that, but he doesn't want to take the fight yet, as you've just been saying. But now it looks like he's ready to go with the upgrade just coming in here.
Yeah, as well as 9 Uhlans. I think he'll be quite happy to take a fight now, but Rafa is staying in his base, and it's not a lot of space for Uhlans to enter here.
Yeah. No, and there's a lot of TPs here as well, which is going to give the units pretty good stats nearby. But Kaiser is really far ahead in terms of score. Almost 40 points up there, which is quite impressive, actually. But I guess he's just got more military units on the board. But we could see another batch and a shipment pop any second now for Raphael, which might even that up. But at the moment, as it stands, I would expect Kaiserklein to come out ahead in any fight here. So he's not pushing just yet, and this is good for LordRaphael. That's going to give him the time that he needs. But maybe Kaiser doesn't mind, right? Because if you look at the hunts, they're all sort of like in the middle of the map, and LordRaphael has been relegated to gathering from berries, and his hunt's almost out in his base here.
Yeah, Raphael went a bit out of his base to poke with the larger skirmass, but I'm not sure if he was quite aware of the Yulan mass that Kaiser had. But his explorer was moving nearby, and he could just safely retreat to his base.
Yeah. Does lose that TP there. And now Kaiserklein's going to build it himself. And that's absolutely the thing to do. It's completely free. Well, it's 200 wood, but it's upgraded, and that's going to be paying for itself very, very quickly. And now LordRaphael doesn't have that bonus going anymore. You know, TPs are great, and Stagecoach is a wonderful upgrade, but you have to be able to defend them and stop your opponent from taking them there. And cavalry combat now coming in as well, affecting both the Uhlans and the war wagons. This is an exceptional army. Kaiser's got a big, big powerhouse here.
Yeah, I feel like Cav Combat is something that Raphael wants to send his next shipment or the one after, before he takes a fight.
Yeah. Corral now going up as well, or a second one. Got that double Cav production going. A couple of Axe Riders do get a villager kill in there. They're going to pick up one settler wagon.
Oh,
and,
wow.
They might even get a second one. Surely not. No, they're both going to go down. Forward
Kaiser's skirms went forward, and he's lucky that Rafa wasn't exploring the map or maybe pushing out to secure the middle hunt or anything, because then he could have been caught really badly.
Yeah. If he'd lost them, that would definitely have evened it up a lot. But
yeah, for sure.
Raphael now getting his Cav combat in as well. And we're approaching that 15 minutes here, so Kaiser either needs to go in now and do some damage before we get the big button, the dog soldier big button timing.
Yeah.
Or just not bother and wait until it's sort of over. But I feel like Kaiser, he's gonna, you know, he's a man that keeps his timings in mind. That's, I think, his strongest attribute is you know, knowing, having a very good sense for that kind of thing. And I would expect him to rush in and try and do some damage before that button happens. But I think that time's running out if that is the case, and you can see 31 villages.
It can be hard versus Sioux to do any timing in their base, because you see Rafa pushed out a little bit to the left, but he's already built some extra TPs, which boost the gathering. But also, if Kaiser would want to push this location, Rafa would have a slight advantage fighting here.
We're going to zoom out a little bit now that there's lots of units here, but if a fight happens, we'll sort of go back in. I think, I'm still not sure what I'll use this camera zoom for. I imagine, like, at the very start of the game when we're introducing the players and we're looking around the map and stuff, that might be the best time. But, like, during a fight, that's the worst time because everything is so far away. Yeah.
So, Kaiser is actually approaching the 200 pop limit, while Raphael still has a way to go, but he's saving up for the dog soldier big button, and he's researching it right now.
And he's got all his vills dancing on that fire pit.
So this could be a crucial moment.
Oh, and Jaeger's coming in as well, which is a little bit early because of that outpost. He wants that to go up and ship them to the forward outpost here. But he's now coming out, and the dog soldier's behind this. It's going to be big fight going on. I definitely need a better way than that to fix the zoom. But here he comes. This looks promising for LordRaphael. There's a lot of stuff there, and the Jaegers are not the unit you need to deal with.
A bit in the front, being picked off.
Just a big mass of stuff going on here. Yeah, losing a few war wagons, and a lot of war wagons sort of struggling to find targets, and most of them all gone down now. He has it. There's still 4 dog soldiers and 3 axe riders here, though. And if Kaiserklein can handle those, I think he'll be okay. But these are going to cause him a lot of issues. They can snare him. That he's not going to be able to get away. Once they're dead, though, then he can escape. But I think that's going to be it. I think he's managed to clean up that army. That's a really nice fight a really nice timing from LordRaphael.
Yeah, we have still 1 dog soldier, but it's attacking a settler wagon at the mine, which is a bit unfortunate for Raphael.
Okay, I don't know how to reset the camera. Sorry, I completely ignored you.
No, I said there was a dog soldier attacking the settler wagon at the mine, but 3 additional ones coming in.
And that's the three dog soldier button here. Looks like, though, Kaiser did manage to kill off enough cavalry to not lose all his skirms. Remember, Jaegers are really, really strong. But with those 3 dog soldiers behind that, they're going to be, thankfully, though, 5 war wagons.
Yeah, exactly. With the 5 extra war wagons, I think Kaiser is going to be in a super fine spot.
And LordRaphael was hoping that timing would win him the game there. It didn't. And he's not going to continue on. Okay.
Yeah, I think maybe we can use I think if you weren't using the zoom feature for most of the game, it shouldn't be a big issue.
Okay, let's not use...
Yes.
Don't use zoom or camera lock. Okay. Okay. Right, no zoom, and we won't use this camera lock button either. That's fair enough. Yep. Alright, we'll try that. But the score is now 4-3. Kaiserklein pulling ahead in the series here. And this could be our last game then. Match point. But LordRaphael, he does get the counter pick.
He does. And that was quite a passive game, and then one big fight, which can be the case when Sioux plays, because with we usually see on the ESOC patch a lot of TPs for Sioux, which makes it hard to push their base. So it's kind of like the Sioux player decides when a fight happens.
Okay, I was just reminding the players which civilizations they can no longer play, but we are now in the lobby. Let's take a look at what civilizations they elect to go for in real time. LordRaphael gets the counter pick here, so Kaiser picks first.
Yeah, that's a bit interesting, because Kaiser is out of some of his main civilizations. I think normally he'd be comfortable in playing Russia on a non-TP map, but now he's gonna have to go for something else. I'm thinking he might go for Dutch or Brits.
There it is. Yep. Dutch is a strong pick on this map for a few reasons. Namely, they're good on maps without trading posts. But yes, I was sort of expecting this. Raphael gonna be playing as Russia.
That's a strong pick. It's kind of both of their go-to civ for non-TP maps.
Oh, apparently the timing is actually 16 minutes for the dog soldiers. Did you know that? It says 15 minutes on the UI, but it's a minute late for whatever reason. It should be fixed.
Yeah, you want to wait until 16 minutes to get an extra.
Apparently LordRaphael called it slightly sooner, which is...
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Can you research it before 16 minutes, but as long as it finishes at 16 minutes or 16:01, I think it works.
I think so too, but I'm not sure. It's probably worth checking.
Testing that, yeah.
Yeah.
How is 16 divisible by 3? Well, the way it works is like the first minute doesn't count or something. I don't know. I don't know why. It's kind of weird. Just AoE3 things. AoE3's got lots of weird, quirky stuff. But
yeah, it does.
Kaiserklein gonna be right back. Hopefully this next game won't be quite so chaotic, in the sense that I was rambling about all these cool features. Okay, we've learnt today though that you shouldn't use the zoom at all because it lags. Well, it lags on. It probably won't lag at the studio because we've got really good computers, although we're obviously not going to test it there and use it at all. But I think it's because, like, Kaiser's PC, because I'm so far zoomed out, it has to, like, I don't know, send more info, or I don't know how that works. Who knows?
Yeah, I
I
can't
assume it's
tell
because
either.
Kaiser's
But
on a laptop. Either way, we won't be using it anymore. It doesn't seem like it's a good idea. It's cool, but yeah.
Yes.
yeah, usually it's just best to keep it simple in terms of lag, at least.
Yeah. I mean, like, the only time I'd ever use it anyway is at the start of the game, I think, when you're looking around the map. But we're not even going to use it there. Every started min counts.
Yeah.
Eagle Mutt, you're the man that could answer the question. 1 dog per 3 mins is how it works. But why is it at 16 you get the extra one? That doesn't... I don't know. Frankazy. Dogs. That's right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is now match point for Kaiserklein. The score is 4-3. Looks like Kaiserklein selected Dutch, and then Raphael gets the counter pick as he lost the previous game. We'll be playing as the Russians here. And Russia is, I think, Raphael's strongest civilization, or one of his strongest. Something that he's taken games off, not just once, but I thought I changed the... Hello. Oh, well, this'll do. I guess we're using this acceleration. That's fine. I've seen LordRaphael play the Russians very, very well, and in tournaments before, and against H2O before, has indeed beaten him with Russia. This is one of his strongest civs, I think, is what I'm trying to say. So expect great things from him here. But he is up against the Dutch.
Yes, and the map looks fine, by the way.
Goodo. Which... Never mind. The score
Russia
is...
versus Dutch, and this will probably be a more aggressive game than the previous one, where they both went for like some greedy fortress play. But in this matchup, we usually see Russia put in some aggression on the Dutch player.
Yeah, well, he's going to have to. That's how that works. Dutch have... you can't let them get away with that boom, can you? Anyway, shall we talk about what's going on the map? Couple of yaks. God, I always call them yaks. They're not yaks, they're llamas. And Dutch particularly good here with the extra scout to grab those.
Yeah,
but,
Kaiser actually grabbing one of the very far ones from his base.
Being quite aggressive with his envoy there. Yeah. But, and Kaiser actually ahead here. He's gotten four llamas. And there's still one in the center of the map here. LordRaphael going to escort that back. Sorry, it makes sense that Kaiser is ahead. He does have a better scout, and as you said, was perhaps a bit more aggressive, but with his scouting. But LordRaphael has got 2 here, and is going to bring them back nice and safe. Herd them home.
Yeah, usually as long as both players go to the side and tries to pick them up, it won't be like that one player gets enough for a livestock pen or something. Because it's usually enough for like Rafa to take 3 or 4, and then you don't really want to go for a livestock pen anymore.
Yeah.
And we might actually see both of them eating them already in H1 to make sure they age up. Maybe an extra villager could be good for Dutch versus Russia. And Russia usually eats maybe 1 or 2 to make sure they age up idleless.
Yeah, that's true, especially as Russia, isn't it? With the 14 villager vs 17 villager age up.
It depends a bit, because now it was a food start, so then you maybe age up idleless anyways, but it looks like he's going to eat at least 1.
Yeah, just to make sure he can get that in time. And could be going up now. I assume there's a vill in queue. It still has 3 vills in queue there, so just waiting for that to be... So actually going to go 17 villages by the looks of it. And now just getting his age up in queue. Oh, it's 14. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. He had some vills in queue. He was just waiting for them. Maybe didn't need to eat that llama then after all. But that's fine. LordRaphael now going up to the next stage. And looks like Kaiser's not eaten any of his llamas. All 5 of them. He did pick up that final one in the middle there. Going to keep them And I don't think he'll pen 5 llamas. I think you need maybe at least 6. I don't know. It's not going to be tempting. And especially as Dutch, you're going to want to get your banks out first. They're very wood heavy, and you don't often have a lot of spare wood as the Dutch. But either way, that's going to give them a nice food boost later on, which is really, really helpful for Dutch because, you know, you're dependent on the food in your base, and once that runs out, you have to push out for more, and you might not be ready to push out because, you know, your game plan as Dutch is obviously to get to the Fortress Age, make those skirmishers and dragoons, and sort of push out and try and secure more resources then. So the llamas, fatten them up a bit, and that could supplement his food, so to speak, later on in the game as he's trying to get Fortress Age before he needs to push out. Russia, though, forward blockhouse now coming down with 3 villagers there to get it up in time. And Kaiserklein does scout that, and he knows where it will be. And by the looks of it, LordRaphael going to start mounting the pressure. Let's switch on over to units in queue, and we'll see him queue up musketeers, I'm sure, very, very shortly. Yeah, just getting a Vils in first, that makes sense. Before he queues the batch of musks. That sometimes is an issue you face as Russia. But going to be starting with a bank wagon for the Dutch player. Oh, pardon me, not a bank wagon. I had the economic units tab open, and it showed a bank wagon. It showed a bank on that, and I thought it was the wagon shipment. It's not.
Yeah, but I think he has the bank wagon shipment on the way. Because this is the normal start when you start like stable and 2 houses, then you send the bank wagon first.
There it is. And he is going to start with a military building from his 400 wood. Very sensible. Wants to deal with any units incoming. And there's LordRaphael. And actually, the 5 musks appear just as the 5 Cossacks appear. So even queuing the musks late, it's not a problem. They arrive at the same time here. Now coming in. And we'll see if he can get any Vil kills here. Kaiser's usually very good at controlling this kind of thing, but there's some villagers there. One does go down. And that's going to be, I think... And he's going to get the Explorer as well. But Kaiser is not going to call his Minutemen or something like that. And just being very careful here. And LordRaphael shooting the Vils that are furthest from the TC. Gotten a few on half health here. And three Hussars pop out.
Yeah, we saw that Kaiser was quite greedy there. He tried to gather for as long as he could and ended up losing 1 villager.
Oh, it's going to take the fight, and he's going to, I assume, call Minutemen here. And forcing LordRaphael to fight with his Cossacks. No Minutemen, just going to fight anyway.
Yeah, he doesn't quite have the resources for Minutemen.
Okay. But I guess, you know, Cossacks just aren't quite as strong as Hussar. And with the TC fire, 10 villagers in there, maybe it's okay to take that fight. But he's definitely being belled up here. There's a lot of units just walking around in his base. But there's so few Russian units left that the TC's so strong against them now. And these are going to run out very quickly.
Yeah, but he did end up losing another villager. So this push, I think, have been quite successful from LordRaphael.
Yeah, he's done a lot of... Yeah, absolutely. 2 villages is... I think Russia's going to be very pleased with that.
Yeah,
Cossacks
because we see that meanwhile, Raphael has added a market and already researched steel trap as well.
Okay, so perhaps now shifting gear. Can't be funneling absolutely everything into aggression forever. He knows he's achieved 2 villager kills. That's good. And now let's slow down a little bit, send 700 wood, and get our market upgrades, that kind of thing. Add in a stable. In fact, 2 stables. No, just the one, actually. He deletes the other foundation there.
Yeah, I wonder if he wanted to go for a second stable. I think it's something that he does sometimes, like to do an early Cossack switch. Can be really nice versus Dutch, especially.
Yeah. But, yeah, he's done well. He's killed the villagers. Now, gonna add in his stable. And coming in with a few strelets. Does pick up a 3rd villager there. Remember, he got quite a few of them to half HP as well, just by swinging at them before they went into the TC. And he's going to take out that Explorer as well. But Kaiser not overreacting, not putting every villager in the TC. But those strelets are a real noise. Another villager goes down. 4 villagers. 5 villagers!
Oh my god.
And Kaiser not pleased. 3 Huss do pop, though.
That's really unfortunate for Kaiser, but it's a consequence of being a bit greedy in the early stages, trying to gather as much resources he could. He ended up taking a lot of damage on those villagers, and also not having the early market. He didn't have great coat upgrade for the villagers.
Yeah. And he could also garrison those low HP villages when the Strelets came in, just pop them all in the TC. Something like that. He's coming forward with his 3 Huss, but look at that. LordRaphael keeps his Cossacks far enough away to sort of bait the Hussar into attacking the Strelets. And then, just as they start to swing their first sword, the Cossacks appear in line of sight out of nowhere and get the snare. But a couple more Hussars being appeared at the Hussar training facility. I don't know what I'm saying, but just in time to take that fight. And with the units in the TC, this should go reasonably even, especially with Minutemen coming out behind it as well. And Kaiser doesn't want to continue. A horrible game from me, I think he means to say. But that does bring the score up to 4-4. And that was a very, very quick game there.
That was a quick one. This is definitely a matchup that Raphael has much experience with playing in many tournaments, and he plays it from both sides pretty good, I think.
Yeah, so something he's very, very familiar with. Well done.
I like that he put the Strelet in melee mode, even though that's something you usually don't see. But he snared the Hussars to make sure that his Cossacks could catch up.
That was really, really, especially since LordRaphael he's had a couple of drinks, so he's still on form, still on point. God, he got a lot of villager kills. That was really, really nice.
Yeah, he was really on point with sniping the low HP ones, and that was really just great execution from Raphael. And I guess Kaiser getting caught off guard with and being maybe slightly too greedy as well with gathering while Rafa had units in space.
The next map will be Florida. I get why he wanted to keep his villagers all out, continuing gathering there, because, he had a batch of Huss in queue at the stable, and he really wanted to get, the difference between getting 4 Huss out of as your first batch and 3 is just really, really big, especially, again, defending against, like Russian 5 Cossacks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. He really wanted to get that extra Huss, but he paid for it dearly, losing 2 vills,
exactly.
And a whole bunch of them got half health, which we then saw got finished off later. Shall we screen share then? It looks like it was still...
Yeah, I think it's better to do. It can be helpful to have one less observer in the actual game.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, let's go with that. And... okay, I guess that's fine.
But yeah, what can help a lot as Dutch with this start is if you, instead of dropping 2 houses from the 400 wood, you drop a market as well, and you can get the great coat upgrade in as soon as possible, because then your villagers, they take so little damage from like strelets and musketeers.
Yeah.
Which can allow you to have them outside gathering for a bit longer.
Yeah, 35% HP, very worthwhile. I'm just imagining it now. Strelets just they have so few damage anyway that they're gonna struggle to handle.
Yeah, like usually 10 strelets should never like kill a villager in 1 or 2 volleys with great coat upgrade, I think.
Yeah. But looks like this will be the final game, and Kaiserklein does get the advantage here. That's the benefit of winning the very first game in the series. If it goes all the way to the end, if you won the first game, it means you get the counter pick in the final one. So
yeah, that's true, but also they're both missing a lot of civs like from their main civ pool, so it could mean that they're forced to pick something that they're not really comfortable with. So it maybe won't be as much of a counter pick as it could be, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's true. Your potential for counterpicking is hampered when there's fewer civs to choose from. Yeah, makes sense.
Exactly. And I think Raphael still has India available, has he?
Let's take a look. Let's see the civ selection screen. That's going to be really important now, given that this is the final game. And yes, he does have India available. So I'll just put it in the chat. Has used Otto, Russia, French, Ger, and Lord R has used Dutch, Ger. The thing is, this is all like fresh in your mind when you've like watched it, the time that you're casting it. But when you have like a week separated, it is kind of, you forget a lot of it there. But yeah, LordRaphael still has India. And actually so does Kaiser, but I wouldn't expect Kaiser to play India. That's not really his style. He's much more familiar and much better with those European civilizations.
Yeah, for sure. And also, Raphael is quite experienced in the Indian mirror as well. So I think that would be very much in favor of Raphael.
All right. Well, I wonder, LordRaphael, he has to pick first.
Yeah.
Does he? Wait, who? Yes, he does. Yes. So India on the cards. We'll see what he goes for. Kaiser, though, he's still got British. I know he likes I know he's pretty good with Brits, which do traditionally okay against India.
Yeah, it's quite a debated matchup. Like, some people think it's super India favored, some think it's British favored, and some think it's like close or even matchup.
Yeah.
It depends a lot on the map as well. Like, on some maps it's very India favored, on low resource map, and on others it's
Probably not
more
so.
close for sure.
And I'd say Florida is a map with a lot of resources on it. There's just hunts everywhere. And certainly there's more mines. There's more coin on Florida than most maps, actually. So there's
For sure. And you have a lot of safe resources, like even behind your base. And there's even the potential to drop a dock or two.
Bruno Representi saying, need water, I need to go to the well. That must be where LordRaphael's gone. He doesn't have a tap. He has to travel to the local watering hole to...
Yeah, old school.
Yeah. But also this gives him time to consider his civ picks, and this is in true LordRaphael style. We've seen this from LordRaphael time and time again. He'll just sort of get up and leave mid-game or between games and come back 5 minutes later. It seems
we need like a timer for Raphael, and we can keep like his record, how his longest time that he takes for picking a civ. It's probably like 4 or 5 minutes or something.
Yeah. I think, at the LAN, there's going to be 2 TV screens sort of next to the players. And there'll be a bunch of information on those screens, but we could put a timer on it. It's possible, so that LordRaphael can't spend 15 minutes every game deciding his civilization. Because I think he would.
I feel like he would, but then again, in person, if you're there in front of everyone, maybe you're forced to pick a bit sooner. I don't know.
No, I reckon he'd just get up. He'd be like there at the LAN, sitting in his chair on the stage, and he'd just like get up and wander off and come back. Yeah. Who else used to do that? It was Samwise, wasn't it? He'd sort of get up and wander off as well.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't like go outside for a walk and then get lost in the
in the UK,
in the streets. Yeah.
The wilderness. It's all right. Where we are, it's not urban, but it's not like rural either. It's kind of like, it's kind of nice. There's enough there's enough stuff nearby that it's not like a shitty village where there's nothing to do and it's just everything's like far away and closes super early. But it's like not a city where it's too busy, like just too busy. It's fine. I like it here. So I don't think he'd get lost. That's what I'm saying. But I don't think he'll be leaving the studio too much because there'll be so much going on. It'll be so much fun and everyone will be here. But he has picked Brits and now it is on Kaiserklein. Let's see what he goes for.
That's a bit interesting. I was expecting India, but British is definitely a civ that he's comfortable with, and maybe with after losing twice with India already, he wants to go for something different.
Okay. Well, he also maybe is looking at the civilizations Kaiserklein has got available still. Are there any civs that, if Kaiser couldn't play, let's say, British and maybe, I don't know, what's good against... Maybe what I'm trying to say is Kaiserklein still has civilizations in his repertoire that he hasn't used yet that are good against India, and LordRaphael would just rather play as the British. I mean, this is a very high hunt map, right? And there's just lots of food. Brits are really strong here. India is better on perhaps Deccan and, Thar Desert and stuff like that. So perhaps British is just a better pick anyway. Forget my other point.
Also Raphael is he's very comfortable in playing mirrors, so I feel like he anticipates the British pick from Kaiser and is perfectly fine to go for the mirror.
That's true. And he also doesn't have to worry about those sort of really strong semi-FF civs, Germany, France, that can have some really strong timings against British. They're used up. And Kaiser, he's a bit thrown off. This is what I'm looking forward to at the LAN. Those final games, those 4-4s where it's just like, what civ do I play? And you really get to know who the stronger player is. Iroquoise coming out.
Wow. Yeah, this should be interesting.
I've seen a lot of Iroquois from Kaiser recently. He's been playing them on stream a lot. So it's something that's fresh in his mind. And damn, when Kaiser streams, it's like he doesn't stream for weeks, and then when he does, he just streams like 8 or 9 hours in one sitting. And do follow Kaiser's stream, by the way. He's streaming a lot more recently. We'll put a link in the chat to that, but also Nightbot, I think, has it too. And Kaiser's ready. He's going to be playing as the Iroquois versus the British. LordRaphael, now that he knows the matchup, we expect him to make sure everything is in his deck that he wants, and it looks like he's happy with that, and he's got his deck ready. We will be going into the final game, game number 9, in a best of 9. The winner of this game wins the series and $100, and they take the pride of... Basically, this is the hash 1 and 2 seed going together, so this could be like, whoever wins this, perhaps their opponent will be less confident if they ever meet again in the tournament coming, later coming. I think like there's, this adds a bit of story.
Perhaps the winner will be overconfident. I don't know.
That's true.
But yeah, there's a bit of reputation at the stake going into the LAN.
But let's remember, LordRaphael, he has, it is Sunday. That is the trouble with casting these on the weekend. People, they want to enjoy the sun. I believe it's the hottest day in Germany today. Of the year so far. And Kaiser was very hungover the previous game. Anyway, let's stop talking about these things and get into this. Ladies and gentlemen, this is game number 9 and a best of 9. Spawning on the top of the map in the color blue, we do have the Iroquois. It is, of course, Florida. You start with a market, and the Sioux war chief is moving quite far forward. He's found an alligator there. There are pirates on this map, and those are really nice to convert.
Yeah, this is a great map for Iroquois. There's a lot of treasure guardians that you can convert.
Yeah,
and
2 pirates
have yourself
there.
A small army.
Especially pirates, and especially blowgunners. They're just such strong units. And this might be the reason that Kaiser has picked Iroquois on this map, just because of the really strong treasure guardians, and you can get yourself a nice advantage there. But his opponent, LordRaphael, interesting, going for a trading post here. And I suppose if you've already got the market, why not? 1 manor house, 1 trading post. I guess he had to chop 40 wood to get the trading post there, being a 300 wood start. Hasn't got hunting dogs either, but can get it at some point. I suppose he's going for Virginia Company then. We'll take a look at his deck.
Yeah, it could be. That's usually something, or the trading post for Brits usually signal that we might see some Virginia Company build.
Yeah, need that extra XP because, of course, 3 villages. I think he's just sent the 1, and then afterwards, you need the extra XP to send a second Age 1 shipment. But Kaiser so far, 100 XP. He's going to have his shipment a lot sooner. Well, perhaps not, actually. I suppose if you're starting with a trading post, that's kind of similar to an XP treasure. I think, though, Kaiser will still get his shipment first and is now getting into position to grab himself 100 food. Yeah, does get 3 vills in before his opponent. Really early, actually, at 2 minutes there. That 100 XP treasure really, really nice for him. And is going to have the help of an alligator to kill this blowgunner. Picks himself up 100 food as well. So perhaps we'll even see him age up a bit sooner. Oh, a farm going down with the Travois there. With the 100... Oh, he's going to fatten... Oh, I see. He's going to use the farm, which doubles as a pen when you play Iroquois for his 7 sheep. That's actually an interesting point that we didn't talk about. LordRaphael, he built the trading post and therefore wasn't out on the map and has not gotten, I think, very many sheep at all. Let's take a look at economic units there. No sheep.
Yeah, I really like the start from Kaiser. He waited long enough with his Travois to not drop a house and instead make a farm and just chopped a little bit of extra wood that he needed for a house. Yeah. So yeah, really, really good use of his starting resources from Kaiser.
Yep, absolutely. Normally we see the Travois turn into a house, but yeah, this seems particularly good when you get so many sheep. And even catches the Explorer in a snare. Not before Kaiser, LordRaphael did get the food treasure, so it wasn't all for nothing, and does get his Explorer back home, so
yeah,
this will
but
pop
meanwhile,
back.
Kaiser actually aged up fast to Colonial, so it looks like he's not going for some fast fortress play. He's gonna be putting aggression on the British base.
Yeah, Warhut going down as close as you can get by the looks of it here. He knows his opponent won't be able to see it there. It was originally going to go a bit further back, a bit more safe, but given that he's killed the scouts, he knows his opponent won't see it. He can't come and start sieging. He can get away with a super close one, and that's going to be very, very far forward. I don't think you can get it any further forward than that. So, really, really aggressive from Kaiser. We'll see what he has in mind, and to follow it up, he's going to have some fattened sheep behind it for the big food boost. And look at that, 4 Kanya coming out just in time, just as it's built there, and going to idle all of these villagers before he's even up to the next age. There's not even a military building yet, and the wagon isn't even down. He slams the wagon down, but those are going to start sieging right away, and he kills the wagon right off the bat.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's quite big. What I like from Rafa, though, he didn't go for the Virginia Company, so instead he'll be having 2 shipments ready, I think.
Yeah, he's...
So I wonder if we're gonna see something like early 6 Musketeers, or if he's comfortable going for the 700 wood first.
So what happened here then? The age-up times just seem to be... Looks like LordRaphael got up at 4 minutes 17, which... Is that late?
No, Raphael was standard, I think.
Okay, it's just that Kaiser found a 100 food treasure and decided to age it
really
fast.
Early.
Okay, and it worked out really nicely. The 4 Kanya have done so much work already killing that outpost. But
yeah, and he's going for 700 wood, which should be fine. The Tomahawks won't be too much of an issue because he can use the TC fire quite efficiently versus those.
Mm. But
and
that villager...
I believe he has a military shipment on the way.
Yeah. Musketeers do pop. And that villager might go... Yeah, it does lose a villager. There's 3 almost finished houses here, which is really annoying, I think, for LordRaphael. Those muskets, though, yeah, 6 muskets, they needed to arrive just in time there. And he's lacking a little bit of coin. He needs a bit more coin to send his Minutemen. Musk's trying to get back here, bleeding out. And those manors not being finished is really not good for him, as you're basically going to lose 2 villages. Well,
yeah, that's a lot
house
of wasted... It's a lot of wasted villager seconds, losing the wood that he already put into building those.
Yeah. Oh no, it's falling apart for Raphael here. God, this just doesn't feel good. Oh, these manners. It's like you're losing a house, and not just a house, an expensive house. And because it's a British house, you lose a villager as well. It's
yeah, it's painful. It's painful. But he does have 3 longbowmen out, which can do a bit of poking at the tomahawks.
Yeah. And sending 6 longbows behind it as well. Just he's clearly feeling the pressure and needs something just to keep him stable. 2 military shipments in a row, but behind this we see goats fattening and 5 villagers just coming in now for Kaiserklein as well and pulling ahead in economy. Kaiser's done plenty of damage, and I think he's going to be very pleased with this position.
Yeah, this is a bit of the risk of going for TP start as British, because your opponent sort of gets the information that you could be going for Virginia
VC.
Company.
Yeah.
So he could be deciding to go more aggressive just on base of that. While if you had gone for 2 manors instead, you could maybe have been able to age up a vill earlier or something.
But he's doing what he needs to do, coming forward with some musks. Does not quite get the villager kill. I think he was really hoping to get at least 1 kill there just to catch up. And what's his name? Siet Trice going to use the special ability there, the crack shot. And those musks, just, this is not paying off for LordRaphael. Taking risks with his muskets, and he needs to.
Yeah.
He's behind.
The only good thing is it's forcing all of the Aena back to Kaiser's base, but they're so fast anyway, so I think Kaiser should be able to pressure quite soon anyways, if he wants to.
Yeah. Cords of 600 wood coming in. And those goats, those sheep rather, are more or less fattened now, so off the back of this wood shipment, perhaps we'll see a second war hut, and he could just spam Aena. And indeed, really any unit, I suppose, with all the food that's going to be coming in. Let's take a look at LordRaphael's base. He's starting to catch up in villager count, and he will be even again once these 2 houses are built. But, you know, that's the British bonus, that they're just ahead on villagers, right? That's what they do. And he's not got that bonus, so he's just sort of... It's not a real British almost. It doesn't feel good, is what I'm saying.
It's definitely awkward. He does have the 5 villager shipment remaining, which would put him a bit ahead. But yeah, definitely not exactly where you want to be as the British at 9 minutes. The good thing he has is that if Kaiser wants to age, he doesn't have the fast age politician available. But it looks like Kaiser instead is making some cab switch.
Yeah, he's got Kanya in queue, as well as a Tomahawk. I think he's just making from both buildings. That 600 wood just being used for a couple of houses by the looks of it. And a fire pit as well. And, of course, training Kanya, which actually cost wood, as do the Tomahawks, which he's also training. Brits at home, they're even on vill counts now, except Kaiser's 20 military unit population up.
Yeah, Raphael does have the Minutemen available still, which is really good for him. It's going to help a lot to hold some sort of timing that Kaiser could be going for soon.
Yeah, that's true. 5 settlers coming out. And looks like, though, there's a bunch of musks up here which are not in the fight. Perhaps they can get some raiding done whilst Blue is away from home, but I think he really is going to need all of his units here. That's the trouble. Going to have to call his Minutemen. And that's a lot of blue stuff. Kaiser's just going to right-click in here. Minutemen do call, as well as some villagers.
He's even calling villagers, yeah, to do some tanking.
Yeah. And just sort of... He's going to have to. The villagers need to sponge so that his units can stay alive.
Yeah, I wonder if it's going to be enough, though. Has he called Minutemen yet?
Yeah, he's called Minutemen. They're all gone now, but he did call them.
Yeah.
And switch over to military units. This looks okay, except there's a bunch of Canyon now entering the fight, and all that's really left are longbows and villagers, and they're going to get cleaned up by the Canyon. Meanwhile, his musks that he needs at home, they've only just gotten to his opponent's base to raid. We can see now the last of the longbows getting cleaned up. And I think we'll see LordRaphael call the GG there.
Yeah, maybe if he had those extra musks, he could have been fine, but I still feel like Kaiser had enough infantry to be able to pick them off quickly.
And Kaiser, there is no 5th game button. but will win the series. And congratulations to Kaiserklein. Picks himself up Iro Bad Civ Kappa. Yeah, at least he put the Kappa
Yeah,
there.
that's Iroquoise has been getting a bit of a reputation recently for not being the strongest Civ, but I know Kaiser disagrees with that, and that's why he was comfortable with picking them here as well.
I see. How did you have a shipment so early? I want to see this conversation. I mean, we know the answer. He aged fast and had, an 100 XP treasure. I see. So it's not only that he aged super fast, that 100 XP also... Yeah. LordRaphael not pleased.
If
I mean,
Raphael
that's...
was going to send a quick military shipment, but he chose to go for the 700 wood, which ended up maybe costing him the game, I think.
Yeah. Oh, that's really interesting. I wonder though if he lost his scout, so he couldn't see the super forward war hut. But I wonder if you should, you see your opponent pick up a 100 XP treasure, you see them age fast with the messenger to age 2. You can see, you can in theory know that Kanya can be there super quickly, but what can you do about it though? I suppose his outpost just popped out and got destroyed.
You could drop some quick walls, I suppose, if you react really fast.
Yeah.
And you could maybe but it's so rare to be in that situation, and you have so short time to react. But I think some quick walls would be the best way to react. But I think we all know that Raphael is the biggest fan of walls in general.
Yeah.
So they're not the biggest part of his gameplay. But yeah, I think some quick walls would be the best way to react.
Quick walls.
Because you could even have a small box prepared for the tower to drop into, so that the Kanya can't reach the tower.
And they can't siege it down. Yeah.
Yeah, like some few segments close to the town center. But yeah.
Makes sense. But that will conclude the series. Thank you very much for tuning in, everybody. We finally finished it 5-4 in favor of Kaiserklein, and the VOD will be available on our YouTube channel very soon. We'll link that in the chat. But
yeah, it was a really good series, actually. I think for those who didn't watch the beginning of it, it's definitely worth to rewatch the first games from the series.
Yeah, I think the earlier games were actually sort of better. These last 3 felt very quick, and they felt like they were over very, very fast. But what can you do? It was a good series overall. But,
yes.
That's going to be it from these two, but not from us. Coming up next, we do have more Age of Empires 3, another best of 9, actually, but deathmatch. So,
yeah,
going to be a bit of a change of pace.